Now it's time for the Swamp Ass News Report with the weather wizard, Ken Weaver.
All right.
Got to put that in.
All right. So tell me how swampy ass is it right now?
It's not.
I know.
It's 83 degrees.
It's like a half swamp.
The heat index is 87.
And I heard today it was supposed to be 107.
It may get there. I mean, we still got about 8 hours of daylight to go.
All right. I'm counting on it.
Some more showers are possible, and then, the sun is hanging high and ready to warm everything up. And we know how it warms everything up after it rains.
If I knew it was going to get down to 87, I would have worn my jacket.
Yeah.
Because when I went outside, I expected much worse than I was greeted with.
Right.
Because when I went out this morning, I took the dogs out. They got up early. So I took the dogs out at like 5, and it felt warmer than it is now. And I don't know what the deal is. So I just want to let you guys know.
Yeah, we had a storm, a little storm roll through Murfreesboro this morning right before the lovely bride of mine and I went for a walk.
Was it a nice walk?
And it cooled it down. And here's the deal. Today, I'm getting ready to leave Murfreesboro for work, and what do I see?
What?
My back driver's side tire is just as flat as a pancake.
Oh, my God.
So I grabbed the Nissan Rogue that has air conditioning, drove it to work, but I didn't need it today.
No.
I needed it yesterday.
Yesterday you needed it.
So why couldn't a nail penetrate my tire the day before yesterday?
That's a great question.
Anyway, fortunately, I got home.
You made it home. All is well.
Made it home. I got a flat tire. I'll take care of that tonight.
Telling you what, guys.
I mean, if it's not, it's like the old saying goes, if it's not one thing, it's another.
That's right. If it's not raining, it's pouring. And it's been pouring. But don't worry, though. Your car is going to be rocking and rolling soon.
Oh, yeah, man.
Do you have one of those cheap little temporary spares, or do you have a full spare?
Well, unfortunately, see, these Elantras, Hyundai, they don't come with spares.
Oh, wow.
They just, they have some sort of...
The donut?
I don't know what it is. I've got to look in the trunk. From what I understand, there is no donut with a Hyundai.
They don't even give you a donut?
You got to go buy a new tire and bring it home.
No, it'll be free.
Oh.
All I've got to do is take it off, take it down to where I bought the tire, and they'll fix it for free, or they'll replace it for free.
Oh,
My
gotcha.
goodness.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a silver lining there.
I always pay a little bit extra for protection from what might happen down the road. No pun intended.
That is a smart thing to do because it's nothing annoys me more than a flat tire.
Especially whenever you are already running a little bit late for work.
I know. You just look and you say, you know what? I'm just going to Uber and burn the car.
What?
We'll leave it here. Let somebody tow it. Burn it. Burn it.
It's like that scene in Stripes where the guy's like, you can't park that here. And he's like, no, it's okay. We're not parking it. We're abandoning it.
Have you ever seen the movie, was it 12? Is it 21 hours or 13 hours, whatever it is, the movie about what took place in, is it Libya, with the
13 hours.
13 hours, yeah. At the end, when they roll in there and the kids come over and they just throw them the Hummer, keys to the Hummer, they're like, keep it, kid. Because they're not taking it back.
It's yours, boy. Yes.
Somebody says your car should have a donut. Somebody's taking it out.
That could be it. I don't know. I've never really looked. I've really never had a problem with my Elantra as far as tires go. So,
At least you were lucky enough to get home before it went totally flat on you, because you're in a spot now where you're like, okay, I can get this taken care of. Having to do it on the side of the road's a pain in the ass.
Let me tell you something, boys. The good Lord has blessed me on many, many occasions. He knows I'm a little fella.
Just a little guy.
That I'm probably not going to be able to do hard labor to make a living, so he gave me a voice. And whenever I have flat tires, I find out about them right in front of my house.
That's, you know what? That's
I
a good.
love that convenience.
I remember it was like it was July or August in Palm Springs, my first year. I have Jack and my little brother. They're like 2 years old, 3 years. my tire explodes. I have to pull over. If it's to them, it's the most exciting day in the world because the tow truck's coming, which is something super awesome. Because I don't have one of those little things too, and then I'm like, oh my gosh! So like AAA has to come and give me some sort of patch thing so I can at least make it somewhere. But man, when you're a little kid, tow truck driver, that's a cool guy. Tow truck driver's a cool guy. Also, guy with a lot of keys. Guy is also very good when you're a little boy. For whatever reason, little boys want to have a lot of keys.
Yeah.
I have to explain to my son when he gets older. Guys who have a lot of keys, usually not doing well.
Yeah, it's not cool, kids, whenever the tow truck driver has to get involved. Depending on, where you're at and whether or not you have to pay for said tow.
Well, especially if you're in your front yard and they only need to drag you 8 feet.
That happened.
Remember that
happened to Brother
That's
Bill.
right. What was it?
It was when the storms
You got stuck, right?
I got stuck in my front yard, and I had to pay $75, which is my deductible for my roadside coverage, to have them drag me 8 feet onto the asphalt.
What'd they charge them for that, though? It's ridiculous.
It was $165 minus the $75 my insurance covered.
God, that is insane.
Yeah.
And you could have just, there was just no way.
Yeah. I knew I was going to have to be out at work, the next morning, so there was no opportunity to say, I'll get to it later or nothing. It had to be done.
God, that's the worst. You're like, oh, you're working, you're thinking, okay, cool, I got a couple bucks here and there, saving it up. Next thing you know, there it goes.
Brother Bilal, you should have used cat litter.
Yeah.
Throw down cat litter.
Dude, I have 2 cats. That's a waste of what it's for.
Yeah, but man, that would have saved you money on
Yeah,
it.
but you could have put that in there. You could have got out. Then you could have gone and spent $20 on cat litter.
That's
and
right.
You would have saved across the board.
Honestly, it was during some of those heavy storms, and the ground was so wet. I should have known better to park there to begin with.
Yeah.
And I was not getting out without it.
Feels like a you thing. It feels like an operator error.
Probably.
Operator error. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today, guys. I'm not going to talk a lot about the Iran thing. Here's what I'm going to tell you about this at this moment in time. Nobody knows where some of that uranium is. Nobody knows how many more of these facilities are out there. And until somebody really gets a deep look into this, nobody knows how much damage was or wasn't done. There was a lot. How much? Nobody really knows.
But do we even know they actually moved uranium?
Yeah, I think there was a pretty good thought that they moved some, but do they have centrifuges other places? Do they have stuff where just because you have it doesn't mean you're going to be able to, manufacture something, because those centrifuges are important, but
got to have them.
I doubt they kept everything in one place too.
Well, that would have been stupid, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Do you happen to remember how long after we hit them with the Stuxnet attack that they were back to processing uranium? Because the Stuxnet attack basically destroyed their centrifuges.
Yeah, it took them a while, because the centrifuges, you can get the material and start doing some of that, but you need the centrifuges. Outside, it's like having a car with no engine.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. Right, if you got an engine and a body, you can build around it. But that was, this set them back. But if they got a bunch out and they had stuff elsewhere, there's no doubt that they're going to, at this point in time, look, from their perspective, you'd be stupid not to try to manufacture something. They're going to use it. They're not going to use it. You want to know why? Because people get nuclear bombs, atomic bombs, big-ass bombs, to stay in business, not to commit suicide by destroying other countries. But you would be foolish. Like every one of you listening right now, if you ran that country and this just happened to you, you would do it your damnedest to figure out a way to protect yourself. But how much they got out, I don't know. And how much damage was done. There's no doubt that it was they thumped that thing, but did they get deep enough? And even if they didn't get deep enough, it's going to take them forever to try to rebuild just to get down there.
Yeah, they got to dig those craters out and go looking for the stuff that was in there.
Yeah. It's going to be forever just to get down into that, because they They busted up the exit and the entrance. And like I was telling Ken, we just said right there, you'd be foolish if you think they kept everything in one spot. That's like putting all your eggs in that one basket, right? So, but what do I think? I think the media wants there to be more because more war means more eyeballs on their television, more of that stuff that they could sit there and bring out all their people and talk about what may or may not happen, what this happens or that. That's what it means. They love that. It's good business for them. And a lot of war hawks love that too. You know, they're pushing this. I've already heard they've already got 2 news sites they're looking at. Supposedly there's 30 sites, but not everything does the same thing. So as far as we know, decent amount of stuff damaged. I'm sure they got some stuff out. They probably had stuff elsewhere. How much damage was done? Did it set them back years and years and years? We always think those things with, like, you know, North Korea. Never, never, never. And then all of a sudden we recognize, oh, they did a big test. So we'll find out. But I'm sure that the Mossad is doing their job. The CIA is being tricky as usual. And they'll come out with some stuff from reporting from on the ground. And then we'll hear whether or not there's something else. So it's funny, though. And there's going to be a diplomatic path. I keep seeing that. I don't know if there'll be a diplomatic path with Iran. Not with this regime. The people, absolutely. The people. Let me tell you something. It's funny. Because I watch a lot of stuff from all over the place, and we get told they all wear beekeeper outfits. I'm looking at a mall. Nobody's got a hijab on. No woman does. None of them have any hijabs on. They don't. They're walking around. They're hanging out with guys and stuff, and they're asking, do you guys drink? Yeah, you can go to a party privately. Nobody cares. It is certain areas that the police are out, and they've really kind of stepped back from that because the fear is that they're going to get overrun soon because the voices have been very loud. So I was shocked, though. I kept waiting to see all the, where's the beekeeper outfit? At least the stuff over your hair. Nothing. In a lot of places. I was like, what? All wearing Sassoon jeans. They're a little behind the time. A little Jordache.
Well, they just made it into their culture. That just finally showed up.
I think some in the media, I think some in the media actually do want hard, concrete evidence.
Oh, absolutely.
But I mean, here's the thing. I don't know if are we ever going to get that?
How do you get it when we're not there? The people that are there that could report it, like Al Jazeera or any of them, they're going to be completely left out of that loop. They're not going to let them get anything out.
Iran doesn't want anything.
No, Iran doesn't. I mean, he came out today and said, hey, everything's great. We defeated the great Satan, the thing you're supposed to say to your people.
Right.
And he's talking
it was exactly, he did exactly what you said he was going to do a couple of days ago, where he came out and he's like, we gave them what for? Yeah.
And he's just like, whatever. I mean, it's all a game. But we would all love to know, right? Wouldn't we? We'd love to know also where their secret stash is. We'd love to know because, Vance and Marco Rubio have been saying, I would like to know where some of this stuff is and what was in those things. Well, you've got to think that we're efforting to figure that out. But to know the full truth, no, because we don't have an in like in other countries we do. And yes, the Mossad has some in, but how much? That's going to be, for us to figure out. But I think we did good enough damage that we at least woke them up and pushed them to move it somewhere else, which may bring it more out in the open.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, a lot of stuff to get to today.
I mean, we've got cameras from space.
And we saw how much damage.
Constantly.
But we don't see what's below.
Even before that, though, Israel has a history of hitting any country, Arab country that they consider an enemy, which is almost all of them, if they're developing nuclear weapons. At some point, the Iranians knew the Israelis were going to hit them. So that's what the first reason why they did exactly what you said, which was disperse it.
Yeah, well, you can't. Yeah, you have to. You have to, because you have to keep something back somewhere, because it's also a bargaining chip you hope one day that you may have, that you can continue to be, part of this. And I think that, we're allowing China to get oil from them now in a much larger way than before through the government, which is probably a good thing, because China's probably going, look, guys, they're not joking around. You saw what they could do, so just be smart about this or else. Coming up, good stuff to get to today. We're also going to talk about, next hour, we're going to have our buddies on talking about the water they need over there at the shelter.
Yes, sir.
And they're going to come on and talk about it. And our buddies,
Nashville Rescue Mission.
the Nashville Rescue Mission, because they are hurting for water. You see how bad it is, swamp ass everywhere. So we're going to be doing that a little bit later as well. Ton of other stuff, fun stuff, wacky stuff, serious stuff as well. If you're missing the show, Shaman, you grab the podcast, Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Rough Greens, ruffgreens.com/Chad. Go get yourself some rough greens for your dog. Not for you, although it wouldn't hurt you. But say what, it's going to make your dog feel a whole lot better. You know what? I would say this about my dogs, especially my mom with her big dogs. You know, they always show us worried about her hips and stuff. And a few years ago, I said, just start giving them rough greens. So we started having rough greens sent there. They've had no issues with any of their dogs, and they've got big dogs. I've told you guys this before. If you've ever listened to the show, my mom's house, smallest dog is her St. Bernard. Luna. That's it.
Wow.
Smallest. And let me tell you something. They're healthy. They're happy. They don't shed because of this. Try a Jumpstart trial bag. It's incredible. Whether it's a little wiener dog or whether it's a giant dog, this is going to help them with all kinds of aches and pains that their dogs may have. Try it now for free. It's a $20 value. Just cover the cost of shipping. ruffgreens.com/Chad. ruffgreens.com/Chad.
Satan knows Scripture better than some Christians, and for that reason should be respected because he has centuries of experience in deceiving and tempting people. Satan understands our human nature and our motivations. Satan has the power to plant thoughts in our minds if we allow it through ignorance. John 13:2, during supper, the devil having already put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon, to betray him, that being Jesus, Satan can possess non-believers as well. Luke 22:3, and Satan entered into Judas, who was called Iscariot, belonging to the number of the 12. Satan actually tries harder on Christians because Christians become his enemies when we accept Christ as our Savior. The best news, Christians share in Jesus' victory since he defeated Satan's power on the cross. John 16:33, these things I have spoken to you so that in me you may have peace. In the world you may have tribulation, but take courage. I have overcome the world. Scan to learn more.
All right, drivers in Davidson County got a stalled vehicle blocking the off-ramp right lane from 24 eastbound to eastbound 40 over at the Eastern Split. Then around downtown, we've got a crash blocking the right lane, the East Loop going westbound right there at Shelby Avenue. That's at 49, exit 49. Stop-and-go traffic starts about a mile away from there at 50A. And then in Robertson County, still dealing with that crash from this morning. A right lane is blocked of 65 southbound right before exit 112. That's about a 5-mile delay. And attorneys for Kilmar Abrego Garcia are busy in federal court in Nashville this morning. We've got an update on that and more top stories at 12:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm watching something that was not supposed to get out. This is funny. So the Swiss women's soccer team, national team, one of the top 20 women's team, played an under 15 boys team, and it was not supposed to get out. They got thumped 7-1. It was embarrassing. The guy should have scored 40 goals, and it was supposed to be closed doors. Somebody filmed it and then put it out, and I think it was one of the women that did it. And man, was it was. And these kids, though, here's a perfect example of why men and women don't play the same sports. This right here is 15. So they're 14-year-olds, 13, 14. They dwarf these women.
And they probably get paid more than them.
No. The women are doing okay. And the Swiss happens, their team happens to have a chick that is the hottest women's athlete on the planet. So, but she got mad because her boyfriend is a big-time soccer player, and she makes like $500,000 a year, and he makes like $500,000 a week.
Yeah.
This is why, because 13-year-olds thump you. Oh, geez. You know what I heard last night that I thought was interesting?
What's that, Brother Chad? So,
Pacers just lost the NBA championship to who?
The Oklahoma City Thunder.
Fear the Thunder. Tyler Halliburton, who's their superstar, tore his Achilles, so he's out all next year.
Yeah.
They're going to struggle. And I heard, I don't know why last night somebody didn't if they had the last pick, the Pacers, pick Caitlin. Pick Caitlin Clark.
That's right.
Why not? I thought,
why not do it? See what happens.
See what happens. Throw her out there. Let her hit some threes. You know what? It'll put people's, people inside the arena, especially when your team's going to struggle next year.
Although I have seen where she may be hurt again.
Yeah.
I saw an alert on that.
Man, they love to hate on her.
I'm telling you. You know what, though? I've got a theory on what's going on in the WNBA. I really don't think there's any racism involved or anything like that. I think they're trying to put more seats, butts in the seats, get more TV ratings. So I think the refs are letting them play.
Yeah. Well, they go hard after her.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't really protect her. You know, everybody kind of knew, right? Wayne Gretzky, he had his own protector on the ice. That was Marty McSorley, the great hockey player, Wayne Gretzky. You've got those little protectors, those people. But the refs also knew this guy's the moneymaker.
Yep.
We don't let people take cheap shots at the moneymaker like that. Not them. And the other thing is, if you want to have a rivalry, and this is Angel Reese and this whole thing about racism.
Yeah.
Angel, you need to be better at basketball.
Yeah, she had a rough night.
Because you're not good at basketball. You know what you're good at? Getting rebounds of shots you miss, which is a whole bunch. So you can't have, like, Bird. It wouldn't be fun if Bird or Magic sucked.
Right.
And so that's why rivalries are great.
That's why Dennis Rodman was great.
Yeah, he was great.
I loved whenever he would get under Karl Malone's skin.
Oh, God, he was the worm.
Yeah.
He was the worm. And you know what he was good at, too? Talking to people at nuclear weapons. Maybe we should ask him, what should we do with the imams? You want to go over there? They love basketball.
Jordan had his own protector on the court. They called him the Bulls.
Yeah, he did. Well,
the whole team was covering his ass.
He had big old Luke Longley,
He had Luke Longley, but he also had the worm.
The worm, that's right.
Yeah, man, the worm. Coming up, we'll talk. I got so much stuff to talk about today. It's crazy. We'll talk a little bit about this, the whole thing going. The Democrats got a message sent right to their face in New York City. They don't know how to react. They're standing back. This guy, though, pulled kind of a playbook that Trump was using. And I think it's very fascinating. But he's a commie. Now that everybody's over, like, oh, wait till you find out how crazy commie he is. We'll talk about that. Bunch of other stuff straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7.
$12:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Looks like that heat is inching up just a little bit. We were sitting at a heat index of 87. Now it's up to 89, now that more of the sun is starting to break through some of these clouds. Right now in Nashville, attorneys for Kilmar Abrego Garcia filing motions in federal court this morning. They're asking federal magistrate Barbara Holmes to send him back to Maryland, where he was living in March when he was deported back to his home country, El Salvador. They also want assurances that Garcia won't be deported if he is released from federal custody, which the Trump administration vows will happen, or not deportation, but at least put in ICE custody, according to the Trump administration, and a reason that the Justice Department argues for him staying in jail while the human smuggling case plays out. The Supreme Court on Thursday ruled for South Carolina in its effort to defund Planned Parenthood, concluding that individual Medicaid patients cannot sue to enforce their right to pick a medical provider.
A significant setback for Planned Parenthood, which draws more than a third of its funding nationwide from government contracts, including reimbursements from Medicaid. This was a case that dates back to 2018 when the state of South Carolina excluded Planned Parenthood from their program.
Devin Dwyer says the ruling could also give a boost to other Republican-led states that choose to follow suit, that argue that even non-abortion-related funding that flows to Planned Parenthood helps fund abortions at Planned Parenthood. The CDC's new vaccine advisory panel meeting for a second day today. They voted in favor of RSV shots for newborns. And the Census Bureau out with the latest numbers on durable goods orders for last month.
After plunging more than 6.5% in April and breaking a 4-month growth streak, orders for durable goods, items meant to last more than 3 years, rebounded by nearly 16.5% in May. The figure is considered a leading indicator of the overall health of the U.S. economy.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Good hands with Allstate. From the Beacon Capital Management Weather Center.
I'm WSMV4 First Alert Meteorologist Stefano DiPietro. The heat wave continues across the mid-state with highs in the low to mid-90s today. A heat index between 100 to 105 degrees. Keep the umbrella handy, though. Even though showers and storms will be isolated, any thunderstorm could produce very heavy rainfall, even some locally high wind gusts as well. Tomorrow will stay in the 90s. Heat index will be around, if not into the triple digits. And again, any thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon could produce high wind gusts and heavier rainfall as we go through the next couple of days.
That's right. It's going to be hot. And your house is like, oh, it's probably hot. Why? Because you got that HVAC you've had for a while. And it's just trying to go. And that's why you're going to call my buddies over at Busy Bee. They're going to come on out your way. And you're going to buy a new one. Why? Because you need it. And secondly, because now you have a chance to win a free 3-day beach getaway on them. You buy the unit this month. They're going to announce it next month on Facebook Live. Just one winner. That's it. But they're going to pay for your gas, lodging, meals, all of that stuff for your beach getaway. And you have a new air conditioner, so it's going to be nice and cold. Thanks to Busy Bee. They got deep discounts on everything right now when it comes to things like maybe you just need a cleaning out, right? Your ducts have problems. What do? You buy the middle tier one, you get the deluxe one for the price of the middle tier. It's 2 for 1 when it goes for the Busy Bee, the Hive Club, the Beehive Club. Right now, $99. This is what you get. So you buy the Beehive Club. Then you get this year and next year. So it's a 2 for 1 thing. Great deals on tankless water heaters, on things like getting your video down there, looking at that main line. Oh, my God, look at all those roots. It's gross. They're going to come out and take care of you. If you've got any issues whatsoever, do not wait. Call Busy Bee today. They're the best around, period. Case closed. 775-7833, 775-7833, or visit busybehvac.com. Da 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 da. Man, I thought it was going to be warmer today. They're still talking about being 107.
Yeah, it can still get up there, Brother Chad.
You promised.
I mean, it can still happen.
It can, because you know what we got?
Now it's time for the Swamp Ass News Report with the weather wizard, Ken Weaver.
Currently, we're only about a half a swamp ass right now.
Yeah, we're not even, I don't know, dude. We may not even be touching swamp ass yet. We're sitting at 29 degrees Celsius. Feels like it's 32 degrees Celsius. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. 85 degrees Fahrenheit and 89 degrees Fahrenheit.
Don't be confusing everybody out there.
Humidity, though, humidity is a whopping 59%. So if that sun breaks completely free of the cloud cover, look out.
Look out, kids. Look out.
Again, I say, how?
Could happen at any moment. A breakout indeed. Kind of like Iran's nuclear program. Just as hot. Speaking of hot, the Democrats are hot under the collar because of this guy.
President Trump just weighed in and called you a communist lunatic. What do you say to that?
You know, this is not the first time that President Trump is going to comment on myself.
The next mayor of New York City will have to work with the Trump administration. Are you willing to do that? Will you do that?
I will work with the Trump administration when it is to the benefit of New Yorkers.
That guy is, first of all, some of his writings, his anti-Semitism is everywhere. It's not just about the Zionist and the protection of Israel and stuff. He is pro-Palestinian. He's a devout Muslim, and there's some serious issues. By the way, in a city that has quite a lot of Jews, the young, it resonates with them. But also, now push comes to shove, how are you going to pay for everything? That's the other thing. Or you take away all the other stuff. How do you pay for any of this?
Brother Chad, it's all free.
Yeah, that's what I hear. That's what I hear. And what I'm starting to see is the left, the Democrats, they're all heading over to Adams. They're like, this guy's better than that. We can't have that. He is, by the way, for no cash bail, which I thought they pretty much have now anyways, right? They'll just release everybody. But no cash bail. He is completely for open borders. And the thing is, that may have worked if you didn't have crime problems. That may have worked if you didn't have Greg Abbott and Doug Ducey and everybody else sending you tons and tons of buses of people that are here illegally. And yet you are upside down on all those things. And now you want to give everybody free groceries. Ain't going to work. But he did resonate. Why? Because he did what Trump does. He spoke about the economy. That's a big deal, especially when you can't afford everything or anything. So many people, it is, even people that are doing okay, they feel like they're doing okay, but they feel like at any moment something go wrong, and that okay goes away fast. So when you're speaking to people that are frustrated and mad about the fact that they feel inflation is still here and that wages aren't rising and that the rich are getting way richer, which you can't argue against that. The amount of money, what did I see today about how much money the rich made over the last, was it 33 trillion? So billionaire wealth surge to 6.5 trillion. But when you add in all of the millionaires and billionaires, it's like $33 trillion they've added. That is crazy. And so they're going to come at this in all different ways. He is exactly what the Democrats fear because he's now got a massive platform. He's going to be talked about quite a lot. And he is so far left that the elites and the centrists, see, that's just it. Because Adams is, I think people are willing to go, all right, whatever. We don't care. We don't care that you hired a bunch of people that were selling whatever they were selling to whoever they were selling it before it was thrown out. We can't have this. We can't have this. We can't have crime ramped up. We can't have you handing out free goodies. There's nobody can afford this. And you're going to chase people away. Here's the one thing about the wealthy that people should know. They're wealthy usually because they're very smart and they understand money. The second thing is they're mobile.
They can move.
They can move. A lot of people get stuck somewhere and they would love to move to a place where they could afford life a little bit easier. But you know what? You know who can? The rich. They can bounce, be gone, and not affect them. Where you're like, oh, if you want to move, you're going to save up for months, years, and hope you don't get a flat.
And hope you have air conditioning.
If
your travels take you to the desert Southwest or the South.
That's right. Man, I only ever seem to get flat tires in Arizona and Palm Springs. I'd never, until I moved to Palm Springs in my, I was 40, 38, I was about 40. I'd never gotten a flat tire.
Yeah.
Then I moved out to the heat. Man, I got flat tires once a year. You guys. So we'll see what happens. This is going to be interesting, though, because I don't think Cuomo's going to run. I don't think Cuomo cares.
Well, look who just announced.
Who?
Mayor Eric Adams.
Yeah.
He's going for it.
He is going to go for it. And you know who else is Curtis, is it how do you say Seawall?
I don't know.
He's the guy that's the founder of the
Guardian Angels. I can never get
is he running
right.
too?
Yeah, he always runs. He's perennially running.
Does. Okay.
I think it's Silva, but don't count me on that.
So, yeah, he is going to run again. So, there's enough there. I think that this guy's going to scare the 40 and 50-somethings and definitely the older generation. But he's going to make this about class, too, and age. Because that's all he's got. But he has 30,000 volunteers. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's a movement, man.
That's it.
Did Adams run in the primary?
No, because he's running as an independent.
Yeah, he's flipped or changed.
Yeah, changed. Because the Democrats, they once he got indicted and then he felt like, that they weren't doing enough to protect him. He also felt like they had kind of left the reservation. They'd lost their mind. And because he kept coming out saying, we can't afford to take any more people, going against their narrative.
Right.
And that, he felt, remember when Trump said, you better watch out, Eric, they're going to come for you. And like 2 days later, he gets indicted.
Yeah.
He just realized this is not who I am. A lot of people are leaving the Democratic Party, but I think he's got a good shot with the moderates and the people that show up on the day of. Because remember, this was still just a primary. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Democrat, because I've seen several of them over the last couple of days who are running in other races, been asked about this guy, and they try to avoid answering anything because they don't want to be seen as crazy left. And it makes them nervous because he makes them nervous, as he should.
I wonder what the Jewish voting population thinks there. And I wonder how significant it is.
That's a good question. I think the average person who's Jewish, who probably doesn't really follow the religion, doesn't really care much for it. There's a lot of them are very liberal. They're very, very liberal.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
But this guy, this guy's went past he's been a global infidada. He has pushed those kind of things. So it's a much different side when you get a person that is so radicalized, not just saying Palestine deserves the opportunity to survive. This is a genocide. He went well past that. So, but I don't know how big their base is voting wise. And I don't know how they turn out either. Because when you get to the hardcore, the Hasidics, are they a big voting bloc? Do they come out and vote?
Right. Exactly. Do they even come out and vote?
Because they may not. I don't know. That's a really good question. So this is going to be, again, watching the Democrats, because Republicans, this is a perfect example, though, of a younger guy who's brought energy, used social media, took it from grassroots, and did it in a playbook that Trump put together, which is talk about the economy.
I wonder if Kathy Hochul has said anything.
I don't think she said much. Even Slotkin's been like, yeah, that's great. He's got a lot of energy because he doesn't want to be, he doesn't want to get stuck in that situation. None of it does. Because you don't want to be lumped in with a guy who has said horrible things. Because you also, here's the thing, AIPAC, that's the big Jewish organization, the big lobbyist group, they give to both sides of the aisle. And you've got to be careful because they're powerful in a major way. So he's an interesting character.
Here's what Hochul said. Following Zoran Mandani's win in the Democratic primary, Governor Hochul issued a statement acknowledging his success and expressing a desire to speak with him, but it stopped short of a full endorsement.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to be walking that fence.
Because he's a disruptor. You know, Trump was a disruptor. And disruptors are going to step on people's toes. And if this guy goes and wins, which is a possibility, then, yeah, you're going to see them come around eventually because they have to. But they also recognize that a lot of their money comes from areas that have a lot of Jewish support. And they're going to be looking to see, are you going to say something nice about this guy? Because AIPAC will go out and they will primary you if they think that you're going to go and take away from not only the Jews here, but Israel itself. Because that's really what they are. They're a lobbying group for Israel.
Do you think something like this could further pull the curtain back on what appears to be some civil unrest, if you will, within the Democratic Party?
Oh, 100%. This guy is making all of their butts pucker because he smashed not just the name. The Cuomos are the Kennedys in New York.
Yeah.
Grandpa or dad was, Cuomo, dad was one governor. He was a governor. They're powerful beyond words in New York. They're like a royalty in New York. And this guy smoked him. And not only smoked him, but has everybody talking. They knocked on 1 million doors. 1 million doors. So this guy is definitely showing you, look, the young, energetic. It's also, too, you've got a very old base of people that are in Congress, in the Senate, and state houses. Here's a guy that's 33, and he's got energy. Well, Chuck Schumer passed out yesterday in 80-degree indoor heat.
That's right.
Right? Like Nancy Pelosi broke her hip last year. Yeah. So that's the people that are leading your party. They want something new, and they're looking at him and AOC. So we'll see. Very interesting. Coming up, just because you go to a sporting event doesn't mean you should be able to say and do whatever the hell you want. We'll talk a bit about that.
Boy.
It is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Birch Gold. Why gold? Because see what's going on out there? Fiat currencies can pay the price in a major way, especially with what's happening next month. The Rio Reset, they're calling it BRICS. They're all going to get together. So you're talking about Brazil, Russia, Iran, China, and many others. And what's the goal? The goal is to get off the dollar eventually. And by doing that, maybe even try to knock it down. And so why gold? That's why. Protects you from the downside, from inflationary problems to positions of geopolitical things of unrest everywhere. Gold is a great place to have money. So why not look at precious metals, my friends at Birch Gold? I want you to do this. Text the word Benson to 989898 today. Talk to them over there at, Birch. They're going to send you out something. It's no hard sell, nothing like that. They're the company I go to. And they'll show you, hey, maybe you've got a 401k, an IRA sitting there, or maybe a savings account not doing anything. Think about moving it over there and putting it in precious metals, or maybe even just owning the physical. They can help you with that. Text the word Benson now to 989898 today for my friends over at Birch Gold.
All right, drivers over on the East Loop downtown, we've got the right shoulder blocked, 24 westbound. Right there is Shelby Avenue, exit 49. And then a crash in Robertson County from earlier this morning, still blocking the right lane, 65 southbound, right before exit 112. And motions filed in the Kilmar Abrego Garcia human smuggling charges case here in Nashville. We'll tell you about that more at 1 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'll tell you guys this right now. Just because you spend money to go to a sporting event doesn't mean you get to say or do anything you want.
No, sir.
So the Chicago White Sox at home. And by the way, Chicago has some issues with the White Sox. Do you guys remember, was it like 15, 20 years ago when the father and son duo ran out there and attacked, was it the first baseman or the umpire or whatever?
I think that's
Bunch
right.
of nut jobs. But I was just talking to my buddy. He just texted me a minute ago. He is the pre and post for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And I said, how's Cattell doing? Cattell Marte, kind of, he says, look, he's a very emotional guy. His mom died, I think, a few years ago in a car accident. And somebody started saying horrible things about his mom and stuff. And while he was on the mound, he just kind of like broke down. And finally, they found out why. They escorted the dude from the stadium, and Major League Baseball said, you can never come to a game again.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah, that's terrible, man.
Yeah. I mean, I remember it was, look, people say and do stupid things, and sports can get very emotional. And I guess I understand. It's okay to be angry. Every year we always watch the Super Bowl. Somebody posts their game loses, and they throw something against the television to blow it up. And it always makes me laugh.
Yeah, those are staged.
But that's you. You're doing something to you.
Right, exactly.
This was ridiculous. And I'm glad that they kicked this cat out. Should he be thrown out forever? Was he drunk? Do you have a conversation, say, can this be a teaching moment rather than a punish moment? But, I mean, Cattell was he was crying. He's really close to his mom. So I'm like, raised him and did everything for him. And like my buddy said, Steve, he said, dude's super emotional. He goes, I spent a lot of time with the guy's very emotional. But you don't have the right to say anything just because you pay your, but look, it's expensive to go to a sporting event. It is. But you standing there, I mean, saying horrific things is just insane. And I think we think, well, yeah, you work for us. You're millionaires. You should take whatever we say to you and just deal with it. Boston. That's a Boston thing right there. They've been known to be a little racist in Boston, is what I'm saying. I should ask Chris about that when he comes in.
Well, and then, doesn't the stadium or the city or what it is, I mean, they're obligated to protect the players too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
From things like this. And this could turn, I mean, what if he decides to just go up in the stands and take this guy out?
Yeah. I mean, which normally we only see in hockey.
Right.
There's been several great moments in hockey. I think it was the Boston Bruins where they went up in the stands and fought. It was just, that was awesome. That was. So, but you don't have the right to say anything you want. You can say you suck, you're horrible, you're overpaid. That's one thing. But you get to a point where you get personal about family. Oh, my God. What the hell's wrong with you? Chicago, you're a hot mess. We understand that. Coming up, hour number 2 of the program. Fun stuff, weird stuff, odd stuff, maybe some stuff about Iran, too. It's the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
Talk 99.7 WTN.
1 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. And right now in Nashville, motions filed in the Kilmar Abrego Garcia human smuggling case. His attorneys asking federal magistrate Barbara Holmes to send Garcia back to Maryland, where he was living when deported to El Salvador in March, which is where he is from. The attorneys also want the judge to block deportation if he is released from federal custody, which could happen as soon as tomorrow. Amid the increased immigration enforcement in Southern California, there are some new numbers, says Alex Stone in L.A.
In the L.A. area, there were 722 ICE arrests in the first 10 days of June, according to the Deportation Data Project. The research group saying 30% of those arrested were convicted criminals, 11% had pending criminal charges, and about 57% of those arrested had no criminal history at the time that they were taken into custody, according to the data. The vast majority are men, 82%, almost half from Mexico. ICE data showing as of June 15th it had over 56,000 immigrants in custody, with 46% having no criminal history. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
The Supreme Court today ruling for South Carolina in its effort to defund Planned Parenthood, concluding that individual Medicaid patients cannot sue to enforce their right to pick a medical provider. The ruling could give a boost to other Republican-led states that argue that even non-abortion-related funding that flows to Planned Parenthood would help it carry out its broader agenda that favors abortion rights. The CDC's new vaccine advisory panel meeting for a second day, and among the issues they're discussing, RSV shots for newborns. Today, the panel voted in favor of that shot, says Phil Lipoff.
It's a long-lasting antibody created in a lab. And if it's signed off on, usually the CDC director has to sign off on it, but because there's no CDC director right now, HHS Secretary Kennedy would have to sign off on it. If he does sign off on it, it will be offered to babies younger than 8 months old who were born during or just prior to the RSV season in the fall or winter, and it would obviously be to protect them.
Money news. Young people graduating from college this spring and summer facing one of the toughest job markets in more than a decade. The unemployment rate for degree holders ages 22 to 27 has reached its highest level in dozens of years, excluding the coronavirus pandemic. Joblessness among that group is now higher than the overall unemployment rate. It's at 5.8%. The gap is larger than it's been in more than 3 decades. And a New Orleans woman says it's time for a change after she had to fight for her dog's life with an alligator.
I've never once seen a sign that indicated that there were alligators or dangerous alligators, aggressive alligators. There's no information about it online. People know that there's alligators in there. You can see them. But everybody I had talked to up until a certain point said it's never been a problem. It's no issue.
Yeah, Kathleen Hurley says there needs to be notice in the park. She ended up with a fractured leg fighting for her dog's life against that big gator. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
So, apparently we're secret clandestine meetings with Iran. Try to find a diplomatic solution. I don't know what that looked like. Could we have a diplomatic solution? Yeah, we should. They got tons of oil outside of Venezuela, which, by the way, has the most oil on the planet. Outside of Venezuela, they've got the most oil. They do. So, yeah, why wouldn't you? They've got minerals, too. Got to be careful. Got to be careful. Because we might want to start a war with you. We heard you got some under the ground that we might want. We know how that stuff can be mean to us. The whole thing about this, and, somebody asked me today, what do you think of all the stuff going on with did we blow it up, didn't we? I'm like, I don't care. We did enough to deter them for a little while. They probably moved some of it around. They probably had other stuff in other places. And we already know that they've got some secret bases and they're looking at it. And until we get people on the ground, whether it's people from the European Union or Jordan or the Saudis to really take a look at some of that stuff, we won't know the exact real damage that was done. Just won't. And even at that point in time, we could walk up and go, oh, well, so this thing's totally, it's all blown to hell. We're told, oh, wow, look at that. So what are we going to do? Well, I guess it's done. And underneath could be completely fine. We won't know the full story. And watching the CNNs and the Foxes, anybody else out there who pushes a narrative, and everybody's like, because they hate Trump. No, it's because they love war. War is great business. The missiles, the excitement. You know what? It sucks. It's horrible. People are dying. And the difference is with Iran, if there's war, they're already the great Satan. They're easy. They got uniforms, right? It's hard with Palestine because we don't care about what goes on in Africa because they look the same. We can't yell at a white guy. There's not a good guy, bad guy. We're not quite sure. So we'll see. I mean, there's no doubt they blew that thing to hell. It's how deep is going to be the question. A lot of people chiming in, Ken, about your news report and the alligator lady in Louisiana.
Yeah. She wasn't very smart.
She was not.
I mean, I don't know if she's from the South.
She didn't seem to be.
There are states here in the South where you just know not to walk your little dog next to some bodies of water. I don't even care if it's just a roadside ditch.
Yeah, you can't do that.
No.
You're insane if you think you could do that. If there's a puddle in Florida or anywhere really like Louisiana, Florida, stuff, just know there's a gator in there.
And if you're saying things like, they didn't tell us there's dangerous gators or that there's aggressive gators. It's, lady, if a gator is hungry, it's coming after the thing it thinks is food.
Yeah.
Few animals on the planet will hunt humans. Crocodiles, gators, polar bears, lions if they need to. There's some things that will actively have, but alligators do not care.
No.
Tigers will come after you.
Tigers will come after you all day, but it went after your dog. You see your puppy that you love. It sees it's just food. That's it. Doesn't know you from Adam. It's just food.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she busted up her ankle, got a hairline fracture.
Yeah.
She's not from Louisiana. I saw the video, and easy on the eyes, by the way. And but definitely seems like somebody who's from like kind of a hippie.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my God, I thought they were vegetarians. I put up signs, but they already took them down.
Yeah, man. I've had some family. They lived some in-laws. They lived in Belle Chase, just outside of New Orleans. And I mean, they said you steer clear of even the roadside ditches.
Oh, goodness. I've had just about every animal you could have. And I will tell you, it is. When I went down to Florida, because I've been down there several times for reptile stuff, they are you're right, they're everywhere. And there was a time when they hunted them to virtually nothing. Then they found out they reproduce like rabbits. And now they're everywhere. You can't even, I'm always amazed because the last time I was there, we took one of those little canoe trips. The fact that they give you the chance to get on any kind, because you get you think you're in the middle of a city, and then you go 10 miles outside, and there's all these little estuaries and things you can canoe down, and there are gators everywhere.
Yes, sir.
Could you imagine going, all right, hey, guys, I'm going to let you guys picnic over here. By the way, we have tigers everywhere. So, be careful. They will eat you. And your dog. A dog got killed there last year, and they just still didn't put up signs. Probably because people in Louisiana are like, you do understand.
Yeah.
That there are alligators everywhere.
The gators.
The gators. So you have family there?
I had.
Did they have the accent?
No. Strangely enough, born and raised there. Now, my nephew-in-law's father has the accent, but he did not, and his mother did not either. But boy, his dad does. I love that Louisiana accent, man. It's one of my favorite accents.
It is an interesting one. I went with Kirby, our remote guy that does all our stuff here.
Yeah.
We went golfing, Matt and I, with Kirby and his buddy who was from Louisiana, and he had an accent.
Yeah.
It was funny. He'd talk, and Matt and I go, I have no idea what he's saying. I don't even know if that was English.
Yeah.
He's abandon de guarantee.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. No guarantee indeed. Oh, my Lord. Pete Hegseth earlier today getting mad at the media. It's fun.
There are so many aspects of what our brave men and women did that because of the hatred of this press corps are undermined because people are trying to leak and spin that it wasn't successful. It's irresponsible. And folks in this room are privy to that information because of the proximity here in the Pentagon. It's an important responsibility. And time and time again, classified information is leaked or peddled for political purposes to try to make the president look bad. And what's really happening is you're undermining the success of incredible B-2 pilots and incredible F-35 pilots and incredible refuelers and incredible air defenders who accomplished their mission, set back a nuclear program in ways that other presidents would have dreamed.
It was good. It was great. This is not about the military. This is about the intelligence of everything that went down. None of this is about the job that those guys do and gals. None of that. Have you seen all the push, all the women that are freaking out? We were talking about it earlier, all the women that are freaking out, Ken, about if there's going to be a draft. It's funny. I'm like, they're like, we better not get drafted. I'm like, I had no idea that we had a military arm, that was, kitchen. I didn't know. Did you know we had a kitchen military arm?
Dude, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
I'm kidding. You guys want to be
you
equal?
don't want to go up against one of them with a ladle.
That's right.
You boys. Hey, here's the thing, man. I don't think the military wants a draft ever again.
Ever again. Ever again. Never, ever again. They want no part of that. And they're not going to. We've got enough, and there's more and more people going in there. So I'm not worried about that. But it's funny that all these women who, can't stand Trump, can't stand, they're all super uber lefties who are coming out. Like, this is what equality looks like, kids.
Well, that's...
Right? You want equality. This is what it looks like.
This is what equality looks like.
When you scream, we don't have equality, well, guess what? You want equality up until a push comes to shove. Now, if you don't mind, my platoon would like some cookies.
Dude.
Oh, my God. She achieved the rank of Martha Stewart. Chad must be single. Nope. I'm married. My wife would be laughing at that. Big time.
Yeah. They want women who are willing.
Yes. They want men and women that are willing.
Who sign up. And I know of a combat veteran, an Afghanistan combat veteran who is a woman who is now a police officer who I would not mess with.
Yeah,
Chad's
will
wife's
take care
got
of
an
business.
extremely good sense of humor.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, she did. Yeah.
She would laugh. She would laugh at that. You know what? Most combat people would laugh at that too.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. You know why? Because they're in the military. They're not wusses.
Right. Exactly.
Right. That's the whole point. If that hurts your feelings, then all the Iranians need to do just get some good zingers. Right. We'll destroy them quick. We don't need nuclear weapons. We just need zingers. Oh my Lord. Kilmar Abrego. So he's got another. Is it a hearing today?
Yeah, it's The judge gave. So yesterday she set out the guidelines for his release from federal custody. Like what happens if he's released from federal custody. Well, so now she's allowing both sides, the Justice Department and his attorneys, to file motions based on what the guidelines she set forth yesterday. And so Garcia's attorneys today filed a motion. They want him sent back to Maryland to live with his brother, where he was living. He was living in Maryland whenever he was deported in March. But they also want her to block any deportation effort if he is released from federal custody. I don't know if ICE has said that they're going to deport him, but they have said that they will take him into custody if he's released from federal custody on the human smuggling charges. They just want to make sure that he's not deported again.
Yeah, it's weird because I think Trump would like to see him gone, but they also have to figure out where they're going to send him because El Salvador, they're not going to do that again. They're not going to send him to El Salvador. So then you have to find. Here's the thing in something like this.
Well, now I'm seeing some breaking news right quick, Brother Chad. The Department of Justice says Kilmar Abrego Garcia will be taken into ICE custody after release from federal custody. So they've been saying that. I guess now they're making it official.
Yeah, or that means they're going to release him today and probably just transfer him over.
He could be released. From what I've seen, that release from federal custody could come as soon as tomorrow.
Okay, so be prepared, kids. Another battle. Goodness me, AOC, you better get over there, and everybody else.
I would love to see AOC in downtown Nashville.
I would too.
That would be.
My goodness, like.
Something.
Here comes our mayor. Is he going to cry? Freddie, don't. Freddie, if you've learned anything, you've got to get in between him and you've got to make it big. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Afton, I love you, hon, but I know what you're going to do. You got to get over there, too.
Yeah.
You could be our reporter on the scene. Wear a GoPro. So that way we could see you when they take you into custody. So this is going to be so crazy. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about the shelter, what's going on over there. If they need water desperately right now. And we're going to talk to them because our good buddies over at Busy Bee sent a bunch of water over there today, which is awesome because that's why Busy Bee, baby. They're taking care of everybody in the community. So we're going to talk about what's going on and what they may need over there, especially as it gets warmer. Another quick one. We're going to go over to Ken really quick before we get to the news. Ken!
Now it's time for the Swamp Ass News Report with the weather wizard, Ken Weaver.
All right.
Yes, we are approaching low level swamp ass. We're at the real-time temperature of 88 degrees. That's the real temperature. Heat index now is 93.
Ooh, gonna get hot.
So the higher that sun gets and the thinner those clouds.
Swamp ass, here we come. But remember, it's all based on fives. So right now we're almost to 1.
We're almost at a level 1. Yeah, what do we do? Have we determined that swamp ass is 100 degrees?
Yeah, once you get to 100, you're at full swamp ass. You're at like 4.
Okay.
And then from anything over, we get to 110 feels like it's a level 12.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Whew. Well, Ken's going to have your full weather forecast. Everything goes straight ahead. We got so much. It's getting warm out there, kids. That's what we're telling you. Drink a lot of water. Don't do a Schumer. That's what we're telling you guys. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7.
We're streaming on YouTube on Super Talk TV.
As you talk to my buddies over at The Amazing Bulwark Capital. Incredible. My buddy Zach Abraham, Chief Investment Officer over there, wants to talk to you about getting a second opinion when it comes to your portfolio, your retirement, your investments. And all you have to do is go to knowyourriskpodcast.com. Totally free. It's a Know Your Risk review. This is what they're going to do. No cost, no obligation. They're going to go through it, see how your current portfolio stacks up, talk about the strategies they use. Smarter. Work harder, not smarter. You get one of these retirements. Don't blow it because, well, you weren't putting yourself in positions to grow enough, or you're putting yourself in positions where went sideways. Next thing you know, you have to continue to work. So why not talk to my friends over there? Absolutely free. Call 866-779-RISK now, 866-779-RISK, or go to knowyourriskpodcast.com for your free portfolio review from my friends over at Bulwark Capital. Investment advisory service offered through Truck Financial LLC and SEC registered investment advisor. Investments involve risk, not a guarantee. Past performance not guarantee future results. Check 25217. All right, guys. Beacon, you want to talk about investments? You want to talk about everything that has to come with your investments? Yeah, there's plenty of those companies out there, but very few do it like Beacon. But here's the other thing. They're your go-to when it comes to all things when you go into your retirement. Because dollars and cents are important, but so is things like tax. Ugh, they'll help you with that. Things like long-term care insurance, things like, when you think about like long-term care insurance and estate planning, you start getting to that point where you just think, I thought I was retiring, enjoying myself. Beacon can be your one-stop shop. So call them, talk to them today. They'd love to hang out with you. Just break some bread. They're easy to get. By the way, the coolest people around. Just go over there. Say, hey, what you got for me? They're going to send you a retirement-ready toolkit, 615-488-9303, 615-488-9303. In this retirement-ready toolkit, Money Enough for Life book, a retirement planning checklist, and a maximizing your retirement income white paper. No cost, no obligation, and no pressure. Call them today. Find out why they should be your full-service investment advisor, 615-488-9303, or online at AskBeaconNow.com.
Lawyers for Kilmar Abrego Garcia filed an emergency motion today, and we have seen a response from the Department of Justice. We'll tell you about the state of any Iran-U.S. negotiations, the CDC's new vaccine advisory panel coming to a decision today, and apparently drugs to treat ADHD may have unexpected benefits. All this and more coming up at 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Give back to your community. We do that. So do our great sponsors out there, people that work on the show. We got to give back. And there are a lot of people out there struggling. How blessed we are. We're sitting here having fun talking. People are hurting out there. Joining us now, Sam Seipel from the Nashville Rescue Mission, VP over there. Sam, our buddies over at, Busy Bee send you a bunch of pallets today for water. You guys need water. What can people, listeners, anybody out there, businesses do to help you guys?
Oh, thanks, Chad. You can just imagine, the extreme weather conditions we have right now, particularly harsh on those who lack basic necessity like water and housing. And so we are going through, bottles and bottles of water, pallets of water. We're down to just a few pallets left. And so we're really asking the community to come through and help donate so that we can provide, just that basic life-giving sustenance of a cool glass of water for hydration, for refreshment. And the best thing that people can do is drop off a case. If you're going out and you're shopping anyway, maybe you're picking up a case of water for yourself, throw an extra one in the cart, bring it down to the rescue mission, drop it off at our donation center at 616 7th Avenue South. We're open 7 a.m., 7 p.m., Monday through Saturday. Just pull up. Our folks will come out. They'll unload it from your car, give you a receipt. Now, if that's not convenient for you, folks can just go online to our website, NashvilleRescueMission.org, and they can actually make a donation specifically so that we can purchase water and be able to provide it to the throngs of men, women, and children that are coming to our shelter.
I'm talking to Sam Seipel, VP of Nashville Rescue Mission. You guys need water desperately. Let's talk about the water. You guys, are you seeing a massive uptick in the amount of people that are showing up at the mission, especially right now? Because they, during the cooler weather, they're kind of spread out everywhere. But right now, I bet you're seeing them come there by the droves.
We're seeing record-breaking numbers, actually, Chad. Our daily bed count is as high as I've ever seen it. We're nearing 900 people a night across our two campuses that are coming in just to get a break from this repressive heat. The sun goes down, and you think, oh, okay, well, hopefully we'll get a break. It's still in the 80s, even at dark.
Yeah, it's gross. I mean, that's why we joke around. We have the swamp ass meter here to how hot it's going to be, and I bet it's going to be even hotter later on. I don't think people understand water. It's beyond life-saving when it comes to a situation like this, because a lot of times these people, they struggle. They may not be capable in certain situations, don't understand what could potentially happen to them because they are not hydrated.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, everyone you listen to says stay hydrated, even in the best of conditions, let alone if you're living out on the streets. Access to water is just not readily available, and certainly not clean or cool water, which is what we want to make sure that we're providing to the folks who come to our doors. Not all of them stay overnight either. Some of them are just coming in from a break saying, I just need some air conditioning, or I just need to get rehydrated and refreshed here so that I can just function throughout the day.
Tell everybody again how to do it, what they need to do if they want to come over and donate, because you guys are definitely in need, and everybody should be out there. If you have a chance, you're just going to the store. It's a simple and easy thing to do. Grab some water, and where do they drop it off at?
Yeah, drop it off at our donation center located at 616 7th Avenue South. It's clearly marked. You pull right up. We'll unload it for you. And if you can't do that, go online to NashvilleRescueMission.org, and you'll be able to make a donation specifically for water so that we can purchase it on behalf of the donors. And we're just so thankful for the Super Talk 99.7 listeners. Of course, the radiothon that we have at Thanksgiving time is such a blessing, but we really need folks to step it up right now during these repressive weather conditions we have.
Sam Simple, thank you so much, VP Nashville Rescue Mission.
Real quickly, we have a super texter.
Well, hold on a second.
We have a super texter that's asking to repeat the cash donation info.
Yeah, Sam, what's the cash donation info again? What do they do?
Yeah, it can go to our website, NashvilleRescueMission.org, and if you just, do a quick search on our page for water, you'll see the page that allows donations to go specifically for that purpose.
Right on. We appreciate it, man. You're doing God's work over there. Sam Seipel, thank you so much, VP of Nashville Rescue Mission. Get out there, people. If you have a chance, give. They need water desperately. We appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you. And I'm challenging everybody out there. Doesn't have to be a lot. Could be just, you go pick up a few bucks here and there. We all do it. How many, we stop. I spent like $6 a day buying Red Bulls because they have wings. And, it's little things that we can all do. Told my wife today, she's out doing something. I said, just grab some Costco, whatever it is. Simple, drop by. And Busy Bee, like I said today, they're going to deliver, I think, 4 pounds of it. God bless them. They're amazing. That's why, Busy Bee. That's why.
Yes, sir.
Amen, brother. Not just because of bees, but because of that. The giver of life, water. Coming up. Speaking of life and death, crazy is the best way to describe this guy, what he tried to do yesterday. Because, that's what we do here. We talk about all things, including crazy. The internet is crazy. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, Fox News says lawyers for Kilmar Abrego Garcia filed an emergency motion today asking federal magistrate Barbara Holmes to order his return to Maryland, where he was living when he was initially deported in March, if he is released from federal custody. They also want the judge to block ICE from deporting him while his criminal case on human smuggling charges play out. Trump administration officials are vowing that Abrego Garcia would be taken into ICE detention if released from federal custody here in Tennessee. That could happen as soon as tomorrow. Here's the state of negotiations between Iran and the U.S.
The president said yesterday that officials from the U.S. and Iran would be meeting next week for conversations about Iran's nuclear program. But as of right now, no meeting appears to be scheduled. The president, though, in that same answer at his press conference yesterday, also indicated that he didn't think any conversations with Iran would produce a breakthrough, or he didn't think that they would even be necessary at this point.
Karen Travers there at the White House. The CDC's new vaccine advisory panel meeting for a second day. They voted in favor of RSV shots for newborns, and drugs to treat ADHD may have unexpected benefits, as we hear from ABC's Wayne Cabot.
ADHD medications are linked to fewer accidents, injuries, and risky behaviors, as reported in the Journal of the American Medical Association. Some details from this large study out of Sweden: 250,000 people. Risk of self-harm as much as 23% lower when people are on ADHD medication. Traffic crashes dropped as much as 29%. The risk of committing a crime fell by up to 27% during medicated periods. This does not prove cause and effect, but it does add to evidence these treatments offer real benefits. Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Again, any thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon could produce high wind gusts and heavier rainfall as we go through the next couple of days.
United Structural System. Just imagine this, right? You gone through the winter, maybe the pipes, they froze, and maybe a leak here and there. You got some cracks, but nothing you're too concerned about. But then you start thinking to yourself, oh my God, we had a lot of rain. Could some have happened? And you don't do anything. Next thing you know, everything's screwed. It costs you $1 billion. Or plan B. You call United Structural Systems. You don't worry about that. They come out, they take a look just to make sure nothing happened. There's not leaks. There's nothing there. You don't have to worry about what's going on with your foundation, right? The basement wall, the waterproof, all that stuff that you think that you maybe have covered. You don't have to worry about any of that. They got you covered. Not going to cost you anything, and they're not going to sell you anything you don't need. No. 30 years in business, 30,000 happy customers. And the way that you're going to be treated is like, whoa, these people are amazing. United Structural Systems. If you have any fear, fear not with USS. Call 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855. Or check them out online at USSTN.com.
Why do the national tax rate?
I see they're getting ready to finish up on the case with old Diddy there. What do you think his defense is? This guy looks up there and goes, come on. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I mean, whenever the defense got the case, from what I heard, they went for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, well,
they were just done.
They didn't really call anybody.
No, I mean, who are you going to call?
Yeah, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. That might be your best bet.
Yeah, and he's not going to take the stand.
No. It was just, that's the way you guy gets up there and goes, come on. It wasn't that bad. Everybody was, fine. But they did drop, like, the arson charges and a few of the big ones, but he still faces forever in jail. And this is one I have a feeling there's going to be more cases coming, too, because this is only a portion of the quote-unquote Diddy party folk. I'm surprised, though, there was no other people called. Like, they didn't bring in any other big celebrities.
Nope.
None of that stuff. That, to me, was interesting. Speaking of celebrities, if you guys haven't followed the story, I talked to you guys, was it a month ago, about the Liver King? So
that was like 3 weeks ago.
Was it? That guy's nuts. Like, and I remember watching him. My wife's like, I think he's on steroids. What gave you that idea? His eyes and the fact that it looks like his heart is going to explode?
Yeah. And that Joe Rogan's been accusing him of it for a long time.
Yeah. There's like no way that guy's 50 or 48 and he's that jacked. He's beyond jacked. I mean, it's the kind of thing where it's crazy. Well, apparently he was that mad at Joe Rogan and he flew to Austin yesterday. So I guess he was going to try to kill Joe Rogan?
Fitness influencer and fraudster Brian Johnson, known on social media as Liver King, arrested Tuesday after threatening Joe Rogan.
Your rules. Whenever you want me to wait, I'll wait.
You, Joe Rogan.
The 47-year-old seen here with weapons and later surrendering to authorities in a tactical vest outside of the Four Seasons Hotel in Austin, Rogan's home city. Johnson's wife and 2 sons gathering for a private chat right before police escorted him away in cuffs.
Don't stop recording. Nothing was actually done wrong.
Going to jail, cops are coming. And I say, I'm going to run. Just don't go make it, you guys. It's okay.
He is nuts. Everything is a sham. But you guys want to hear this? So this is his going to jail video. I want you guys to listen to this. All he eats, supposedly, is just raw meat. In particular, tons of raw liver, like straight out of the animal into the mouth, raw liver.
He's going to just not have a good time with those peanut butter and jellies that they serve for lunch in jail.
No. So this is him. And I don't know how many of these you're supposed to have, but I think 4 in one day is probably not good.
Going to jail, cops are coming. I just need to put stuff on. Just put stuff, because they're not going to take me naked. So can I have 12 minutes to just finish my actual 4 coffee enemas this morning? My intestines don't work like yours.
Nobody's works like that. You're not supposed to have 4 coffee enemas in 1 year, probably.
Good grief.
This is what happens when I only eat nothing but beef.
No wonder this dude looks so weird.
Have you looked at him?
Yes.
He's nuts.
And he's almost purple.
Yeah, because he looks like he's been outside he looks like he's one of those, he looks like a piece of bacon or leather that's been outside for months.
Yeah.
Baking in the hot sun. And Rogan, when they started talking about him, because his whole thing was, he built this industry. He didn't just he built an industry off of his videos that he had supplements to the tune of $100 million. And then everybody found out he was full of crap. But he went out there to basically go after Rogan. That was it. That's why he went out there. He flew out to Austin, got a place at the Four Seasons, and the entire time he's like, I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to get you. Because Rogan totally went after him. This was before anything ever came out about him.
So why the beef? Well, it's possible Johnson was retaliating against the podcaster for comments he made on the Joe Rogan Experience more than 2 years ago.
There's no way you can look like that in your 40s. That jacked. I mean, he's preposterously jacked. We're talking about the Liver King, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
He was front row at one of my shows in Vegas.
Oh, damn.
At the MGM. Yeah, and then I saw him again at the Canelo fight. He was trying really hard to get on the podcast.
Liver King became a viral sensation in 2021 by touting his ancestral lifestyle, which included a strict set of tenets and a diet of raw meat.
He was telling people that the way he gets that way is by sunning his balls. He literally lays down with his staring at the sun and eats raw liver and just lifts like a maniac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Trust me, if you could get that Jack doing that, every guy would be outside right now with their grundle out and their butt in the air trying to get fit.
You talk about swamp ass.
So he got arrested and they bailed him out. And the minute he got out, he started threatening Rogan again. Hey, I feel so bad too. His kids are named something like Patriot, Missile, or some stupid.
Good grief.
And his wife is just like, it's not real, dude. It's not like, this is what happens on the internet. Whatever happened, like, oh, cool, I can keep up with my grandma and see what recipes she's making and stuff like that. And I was like, hey, look at me, guys. It's me, the liver king. I'm the donut king.
Has he gotten more extreme? Like, you think the roids are...
Oh, yeah, they've eaten away his brain. They have eaten away his brain, dude.
Well, and I think you can eat too much liver.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to. Yeah, you're not supposed to have that much. You're not supposed to kill and gut a cow. That's the other thing. To this, if you watch the Liver King Exposed thing on their property, and it's massive, right? This is something like Bell's like, this is something Bell would do. So they go out and they shoot, I think it's a cow or something out there. I can't, or maybe it was a buffalo. Puppy. It was not a puppy. That was the ice Barbie. They go out there. That's the DHS secretary. And it's him, his wife, his cameraman, his two kids. They got giant knives like they're Rambo. They then gut the animal after they say like, we love you for giving us the great buffalo, whatever BS that they come up with.
Yeah.
And then they literally stick their kids, have their hands all the way up into their shoulders, pulling it out, the guts, and then they just start eating it.
Goodness. Wow.
And he's like, this is why I get so big.
You guys can't deal with a little bit of rare steak.
That's worse than the time I saw Bear Grylls in like 4 foot of snow open up an elk's like jugular vein and drink the blood because he says it keeps you warm.
Oh.
Now, Bear Grylls knows how to survive.
Well, yeah, Bear Grylls is trying to survive. You know what Bear Grylls doesn't do? He doesn't go back to his house and gut animals and eat them raw.
No. Well, you know what else he does when he's surviving? Make sure the entire camera crew has food.
Yeah. Like this guy is nuts. And so what eventually ended up happening is like Rogan started throwing stuff out there. Like, there's no way this guy's this jacked. There's no way this guy's this big. Then one night he woke up and he's get all these calls from his managers and everything. There was emails leaked, I think, from old staff members that had receipts, $10,000 a month he was spending on steroids.
Wow.
$10,000 a month.
Yeah, he's out there, man. He's gone if he's.
Yeah. Whew. But he went out there to basically, he wanted to fight Rogan. And then he says something like, I hope Rogan puts me in a chokehold because that way I can go that way and it's just awesome. Like that's done before. First of all, Rogan would kill you.
Oh.
Secondly, and what? You got released and you went out and you threatened him again. My God. This is what's wrong.
So he's back in jail.
Yeah.
Or going to be.
And Rogan said, look, I know that he's been threatening, but I didn't think it was going to be the point, like it's beef on the internet. Rogan doesn't pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah.
But he goes, I knew he was because he started showing up at some of my shows because he wanted to be on the podcast. And, but yeah, that's not, and I feel bad for his kids.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, yeah, you guys gotta, they're homeschooled. Like I said, they're named, the kids, I'm going to look up the kid's name. It's something so bizarre.
Toxicology report.
Yeah. That's the name of the kids? Toxicology. His name. Okay. This one's awesome. One of his kids, his first name is Rad. His middle name is Ickle.
goodness.
And his other son is named Stryker.
Middle name Outer.
Somebody says, I think Liver King has ab. He looks like he's got ab implants. He does.
I didn't know they made those.
Yeah.
I'm going to get me some of those.
Rogan actually accused Dwayne Johnson of being on roids for a while, too.
Or was it roids or something?
Roids.
Oh, yeah.
He specifically said roids.
The Rock?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, that guy is...
He's just got genes like that, man.
Some people just have the genes.
And he's a weightlifting maniac. I mean, anytime he does a movie, part of his deal is they have to have a full-service weightlifting gym for him available 24/7.
Oh, yeah. I mean, your body is your job.
Yeah, especially as an actor.
Yeah. I mean, especially somebody like that who makes a living being ginormous. So, and he's a good actor. But, this guy, it's just like his supplements, too. He was making like $100 million. It's all gone. I mean, he still has the money, but once that happened, everything disappeared. Like, because nobody's going to buy anything for me to cure fraud.
Yeah, he better save that up. Because he might be done now.
Yeah, you can. Well, he's going to explode anyways.
Well,
he's going to be on a plane and just explode. Look at his eyes, too. God, he looks like he's wild. Oh, my Lord.
He's got too much iron flowing through him,
Yeah. You're not
let
supposed
alone
to eat
steroids.
that much. Somebody said I have love handle implants. You too? Yeah, those are spectacular. That's why, kids, I go to Contours. My man's getting rid of my love handles. I love that.
Sir. That's what I should have come up with.
We're going to eventually sculpt me down, and then we're going to be able to find out if I have a six-pack again. Oh, goodness me. You know what? I look at six-packs and people that are that fit, and I think to myself, that looks like a lot of work. Like some people are natural, but very few are natural to the point where you have something like that.
I think the only people that, I think NBA players, a lot of NBA players are naturally athletic.
Yeah. Big time.
And they're probably the best athletes in the world. I mean, given their size and speed.
Yeah. You know who's, if you've ever seen ice hockey players, go look at Ovechkin, the greatest goal scorer of all time. Mm-hmm. That guy, if you think, he's got dad bod for days.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks, too. Outside of Tom Brady, quarterbacks, they always like a little pudge on them. Because you're going to get hit by ginormous men.
Fran Tarkington could have used some of that back in the 70s.
He needed it.
He was little.
He was, but he ran.
But he ran, boy.
He should have went with the Liver King, because I'll tell you what right now, I'm here for you, Joe Rogan. Pass the salt and pepper. Hold on a second. I got to take my pants out, take out my grundle, and get some sun on it. Because that's what gives me strength.
It's crazy. Wow.
Oh, Lord. Coming up, who knows what? Oh, coming up. Crazy fun audio from the greatest real estate person in the world right now out of Tampa Bay. She is the queen. I'm telling you guys right now, you're going to love this. Straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Rough Greens, RUFFgreens.com. Vitamins, minerals, probiotics, omega-3, 6, 9, all this incredible stuff. We're just talking about supplements, eating stuff. You don't have to do that with your dog, right? It's Rough Greens, right? Give them the stuff they like. They love that liver. My dogs love that. Sprinkle some of this stuff on top of it. It's going to give them nutrients. All the stuff they're missing out on, this is going to help them big time. It's going to help their digestive tract, their aches and pains in their joints. It's going to make their life so much better, which makes your life better because it saves you money when they're healthier. And that's what you want to do. So what are you waiting for, kids? They're going to give you a free bag. They're putting their mouth out there. And then they said, you know what? We're going to back it with our money by giving you a free bag, a $20 value. All they ask you to do is cover the cost of shipping. You're going to love what it does for your dogs. They will love the taste. It is Rough Greens, RUFFgreens.com/Chad, roughgreens.com/Chad. Get your free bag now, roughgreens.com/Chad.
Prosecutors make it clear what is going to happen if Kilmar Abrego Garcia is released from federal custody in Nashville. And buy now, pay later loans going to start pulling on credit. These stories and more at 2 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Sometimes you got to cut through the noise, boys.
Yes, sir.
Her name is Tampa Bree. She is a realtor. She's only like 25 or maybe even that. I don't know. But she decided she'd had enough of going out and saying, here's a beautiful home, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. She decided, you know what? I'm going to use some humor, tell you guys the truth about these houses. And, well, let's just take a listen.
Come see what $535,000 gets you in Lutz, Florida. This new construction home has no HOA, which is perfect for people who don't give a about their front yard. It's 2,093 square feet with 3 bedrooms and a flex room. The bathrooms don't come with mirrors. I don't know why. We're just not doing that anymore. Moving on to the kitchen, there's a ton of open space and natural bright light. You can really tell the builder's inspiration for the backsplash came straight from the year 2010. Very vintage. I should probably know this as a realtor, but I think this is quartz. Now, the primary suite has French doors that lead to the back patio, so you can smoke without your kids ever finding out. This oversized bathroom has tons of natural light, and the toilet is separated with its own door, so you no longer have to hear your husband take a The backyard isn't huge, but it's definitely big enough for 2 kids, a chihuahua, and that shitty fire table you regret buying off Amazon.
Those are TikTok videos, right?
Yeah. But she has tons of people who follow her now, but her business has exploded. And they're hilarious.
Good for her.
Like, she just says it like it is. And, I mean, it is so, some of it is so hilarious and ridiculous. She's got a great sense of humor, you know, and it's like, you sit there and go, wow, that right there, she cut through the noise. And you start watching one, and the next thing you know, you watch 2, then you watch 3, and she says the stuff about country music was hilarious. Maybe pull it later. It is just, but cutting through the noise, kids, that's what you do. That is what you do. So much stuff still to come. Oh, my God. What do you think of Iran? I don't. That's the beauty of it. But they could attack us, but they won't, because they never could. So we'll let you guys know. That was never happening. Okay? Ken and I have it on good authority based on the fact that we have a lot of common sense that was just never going to happen.
Don't draw me
That's
into
not
that.
true. The Ayatollah came out and said he, busted our chops good.
Well, of course he did.
I don't have any problem with attacking Iran.
No. Well, as long as we don't have boots on the ground. We don't want boots on the ground. Like, doing what we did, I was totally fine. But I'm just saying, I don't think they're not going to attack us. Just want to let you guys know that, okay? Putting that out there.
We hope not.
They're not. Yeah. It's just not. They don't have the weaponry. Plus, most people like to live, especially people in leadership positions. Coming up, hour number 3 of the program. A lot of stuff to get to. So much stuff we haven't squeezed in yet. If you miss any of the show, we say shame on you. Make sure you grab that podcast. It is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
Two o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Let's see where we're at with the heat index. Just checked it moments ago, and we keep climbing. Heat index 96 right now. Real temperature is 91. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, prosecutors in the Kilmar Abrego Garcia human smuggling case told the judge today the Salvadoran man will be deported to a country other than El Salvador after his release from jail. Earlier today, Garcia's attorneys filed motions requesting he be returned to Maryland and that the judge block any attempt to deport him. Magistrate Barbara Holmes has ordered Garcia's release from federal custody, but says she has no jurisdiction over ICE. And the CDC's new vaccine advisory panel meeting for a second day. And today they voted in favor of RSV shots for newborns. Members also voting on whether to remove a certain preservative in flu shots.
It's called thimerosal. It's only in 4%, but it has been inaccurately connected to autism. And this is what RFK has been talking about for a long time. There have been claims that this causes autism. That's been debunked. There is one woman who is part of HHS now. RFK put her in there. Lynn Redwood, I believe is her name. She'll be presenting her findings at the meeting about thimerosal.
Money news. Millions of Americans' credit scores will soon be impacted by hundreds of millions of buy now, pay later loans for things like clothes, furniture, concert tickets, and takeout. Scoring company FICO said on Monday it is rolling out a new model that factors the short-term loans into their consumer scores, which previously had been excluded. States can block Medicaid money for health care at Planned Parenthood, according to the U.S. Supreme Court. There's ABC's Devin Dwyer.
A patient, a beneficiary in South Carolina, sued the state, saying she has a right to see any provider under the federal Medicare law that is qualified. Planned Parenthood is qualified, and therefore she wanted to challenge that. But the Supreme Court today, in this decision 6-3, written by Justice Neil Gorsuch, really breaking along ideological lines, the court said no, individuals don't have the right to sue over how states and the federal government manage Medicaid.
Yeah, this ruling could give a boost to other Republican-led states that choose to follow suit, that argue that even non-abortion related funding that flows to Planned Parenthood would help it carry out its broader agenda that favors abortion rights. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Tomorrow, Dan Mandis is going to have Senator Blackburn on classified briefing, giving an update to Senate tomorrow. I guess that's what she's doing before she goes and becomes governor. Allegedly. I can't believe you said that, Chad. Big Beautiful Bill. Trump's going to host a Big Beautiful Bill party agenda mixer. Are they having a mixer? It's going to be great. It's going to cost us so much money. But everybody's going to get their taxes.
Yeah, but the good thing is that the budget for it is in the big, beautiful bill.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, my God. That's another reason we should be excited we didn't have to put boots on the ground or do anything like that, because the big, beautiful bill is already big enough. Not beautiful, right? We need a thinner bill for sure. See, Ken's back in the booth. Ken! Who? We need to know.
Now it's time for the Swamp Ass News Report with the weather wizard, Ken Weaver.
And we are sitting at 91 degrees. That is the actual temperature. The heat index, 96.
We're getting close to swamp
We're
ass.
getting close. We're getting close to level 1 swamp ass.
It's coming, kids. It's coming. Before we're done.
What did we decide was level 1 swamp ass?
Well, we're at level 1, but we're going to get.
So we're at level 1.
Yeah, we're heading towards level, because once we get to 100, we're at 3.
Okay, yeah, that's
105 is 4. Anything above that, swamp ass alert. Change your pants. Oh, good God. It was 81 when I came in.
Yeah, it was nice this morning after that rain.
Then all of a sudden I showed up. Next thing you know, swamp ass alert, kids. Oh, my goodness me. What's it saying it's going to get to?
Let's see here.
What's your feel?
Let's see here. Where are we going to get to for a high today, boys? It says 97. Says we're supposed to get to 97 today for the high.
97 for the high, but then the feels like?
Feels like it'll be 106. That's definitely swamp ass.
That is extra swamp ass. That's not regular. That is like double extra.
I had a doctor's appointment this morning, so I had to leave the house at like 8, and when I stepped outside, it was like a friggin' sauna.
When I took the dogs out early this morning, and we went out, and I was like, it is gross. And then when I walked to work, it was a lot better. And I was like, that's weird.
What's going on?
The hell's we're going in reverse. We're going in reverse. And people, all joking aside, be careful. I did a story today on my national show about a post office employee, a guy that was delivering mail, and he died.
From heat stroke?
From heat stroke.
Goodness.
Looks like it caused him to, his body. Drink water. And speaking of that, our friends over at the Nashville Rescue Mission, if you guys have a chance, we're challenging everybody out there, whether it's one bottle of water, a case of water, whatever you can do. Our buddies over at Busy Bee said 4 pallets over today. They are struggling when it comes to water. So many people are, this is the kind of stuff that kills, the cold and the heat. You can't escape this because they want you, they have 900 people a day that they're serving that are there.
If there's any old school mobsters in this town, they have to know of some pallets of water that just happen to fall off a truck somewhere.
That's right. We know. We're fine with that. That's your Robin Hood gift to everybody. Okay? So if you have a chance, and if you don't, like I can't get over there, Chad, you can go to their website and you can find out how to donate there. So it's definitely a situation where people are in need. And I see, because when I walk here, there's 3 or 4 of them. They're not in their right mind. They're not.
Yeah.
And it's not because they missed a paycheck.
No.
If we had affordable housing, it's just because they missed a paycheck. Really? Is that why they did?
That's what it is.
Go ask them when their last job was. The moon. That was the answer. But what was your last job? The moon. But they're not well. They're sitting at the bench talking to themselves, but some of them, you're just thinking to yourself, because if they are drinking, chances are it's some alcohol or something like that. And mouthwash, yeah. It sucks. So you know what? We're an amazing listeners out here, and if you guys have a chance, give. It'll be definitely something to do. Just a little something. Somebody just sent us something. How hot is it? I don't know. They sent us a weather thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't see any weather.
What are they saying, Brother Chad?
It's hot, like 105. It's gross out there, people.
Where they're at, it's 105?
Yeah. Well, I think it's probably in the car, right? You get in the car, it's always a little bit hotter.
Yeah.
So be careful out there if you're out there. It's definitely going to be warm. And I heard we're not going to get relief till next Wednesday, potentially.
That's what I see.
No, it'll be down to about 97 on the weekend, won't it, Ken?
We're supposed to get some rain, too. Just, good God, it's ugly.
Yeah, we'll get rain, and the rain will be hot.
Oh, that is gross, right? And the humidity too, people. Humidity. So make sure. We want to keep you safe. We got to do everything we can to keep you guys safe because that's the kind of people we are. We bombed Iran. That happened. The beauty is we didn't have to send anybody over. Somebody asked me earlier, goes, how do you feel about this being a success? I said, it's great. We didn't put people on the ground. It was always my thing. If you want to send a bomb once, be done. No problem with it. The whole, how bad is it? How much did we destroy? Are there more places they could have uranium and stuff? Of course there is. Duh. I mean, that's of course there is. And it's, the situation is you've got way too many people who are fighting over, well, he said this or they reported the wrong thing. It doesn't matter. That's the media reports whatever they get. They got leaks. They reported something. They want a war. It's good business. If it's the right kind of war. It's got to be the right kind of war. Uniforms, they got to be able to go us versus them, that kind of stuff. I mean, that's the right kind of. It's hard with Hamas because they don't wear uniforms. And it's hard with Hamas because they, all the people they use as shields and the horrible things they do over there, it's hard there. So that's not the right kind of thing. Ukraine was okay for a while, but we're not in it. We're supplying it, but we're not in it. So, and I don't know how bad we, totally obliterated. We did a lot of damage. But did they move enough stuff to make it worth their while as far as being able to get up and running in months rather than years? We'll find out. I'm sure the Mossad, as well as the CIA and several others, are doing all they can to find out if they got a bunch out and do they have other facilities, which we know they do. Kilmar Abrego, any news?
Yeah, prosecutors told the judge that he will be deported to a country other than his home of El Salvador if he is released from federal custody here in Tennessee. And she has said she has no jurisdiction over ICE.
No jurisdiction. Zero, zilch, nada.
So the only option may be to just leave him in jail here in Nashville while this case
Well, if you want
out.
the case to continue, because otherwise I would just say, look, if you guys are going to deport him immediately, then I'm not going to waste my time, have the hearing. We're just going to leave him in custody.
Right.
And kick it down the can down the road until we get to that point. And if you guys are going to hold him and we're still going to have it, then let us know. Because if you're just going to go and deport him, and everybody's like, they should do that. Well, if he's actually committed these kind of crimes that he's been charged with, shouldn't we at least find out exactly who else may have been involved and are other things going on? I mean, I think that's not a horrible thing. And remember, it was smuggling, so he didn't kidnap anybody. But this is, if you're just going to get rid of him and send it, what do you think? Because we have to have some sort of diplomatic agreement with some countries where we're paying them. We're not just sending somebody from a third country to them and saying, good luck with them.
Yeah, I would think you have to have an agreement.
So, somebody said, better than being deported to a prison in another country without being convicted of. Yeah, well, that was always our problem. That was my problem. You and I both talked about that, Ken.
Yeah.
The no due process of sending somebody from Venezuela after they came here illegally to El Salvador, which they've broken no laws, and they go straight to jail.
Yeah, I mean, being here illegally is one thing, but then, just sending them off to that prison in El Salvador, because that was the direction for the initial deportations was, okay, we're going to get those who have been convicted or charged with crimes right now, or who are sitting in our jails right now, and we're going to send them there. But apparently, there have been some that was not the case for them. And even though Kilmar Abrego Garcia was in the country illegally, he did have that judge back in 2019 say, no, we'll give you a special deal. But apparently that didn't hold.
No.
And it didn't hold with the Supreme Court either because the Supreme Court has been very vague on this.
They have been. I feel like I think the Supreme Court wants to get less involved and let the lower courts, you figure it out. It's like,
right.
You do your thing. You guys figure this out. And if we have to, we will get involved, but we'd rather not. But everything nowadays goes to the Supreme Court, as we know. And I think tomorrow they're going to have the last 6 of their cases. They'll release them tomorrow. Today was the Planned Parenthood one.
Birthright citizenship is the big one.
Is the big one. That's the birthright citizenship. So we're going to find out, is it a rogue court? It's a rogue court. I should never have put those people in power. Rogue. Or is it the court that I have always dreamed of? What's your sense on I think, because that was not as cut and dry as some of the stuff we've heard.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea how they're going to go.
No, I don't think. Today was the, you can't tell states how to spend their Medicaid money when it comes to Planned Parenthood. I always like it's Planned Parenthood. You mean it's not Baby Killer? Just doesn't have the same ring.
It is in some states.
It is. Baby Killer X, it's Baby Killer Inc. So, but they do other things. I always notice that. They do other things. They do, they're fully, I always thought it was Planned Parenthood. Should it be unplanned? Because you didn't plan for it. Because if you want to be a parent, you're not going there to plan it out.
Let's get him on the horn.
Let's do it. Let's call him. Find out what they're up to.
The horn.
The horn. I like that.
I loved that. I love that. So let's get him on the horn.
Garcia is from El Salvador. Yes, he is.
Yep.
So, but he's not supposed to be sent back there. That's the whole point.
Well, he was not supposed to be sent back there according to that lower court ruling, and specifically not to a prison.
Yeah, which is because, I know he's in MS-13, or is he, or isn't he? That kind of went away.
And the Trump administration came out and said, okay, yeah, we mistakenly sent him to that prison. But he is illegal, and we're going to deport him again.
And they said we have to find a third. They got to find some place that's going to take him.
Yeah.
And, it could be, they could send him to Sudan.
Hey, if you give me Photoshop, I'll make him a member of any gang you want.
Aryan Brotherhood. Could you imagine, though, if you were like him and they send him, they spin the wheel and you're going to South Sudan? The shock that may come from that.
Yeah.
So what's he going to do in South Sudan? I think they would probably send him to maybe Honduras, Guatemala. I think that would be.
But do those countries have to take him?
Well, we probably have, but here's the thing. We probably have to have some sort of deal, but that usually means for them to maybe hold them. You can't send him to Honduras and then put in jail. He's never done anything in Honduras. It's a tricky thing with El Salvador.
Why was it that they didn't want him deported back to El Salvador then?
He was fleeing for his life because he stood up to the 18th Street or MS-13, or he is MS-13, and they were trying to kill him, and that was kind of the whole. But but that was it. One of the gangs was trying to kill him. I think it was 18th Street, and they're no longer. They've been pretty much decimated. So that's why he said he couldn't go back there, because they had a hit out on his life.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens to him. We'll find out more tomorrow. Coming up, a lot of stuff for us still to get to today. So much stuff, kids. Like stuff that you could not even believe. We got some of your text messages as well. People asking me who that lady was that was the realtor, because she's awesome. And I'll put her name out there. I got to double check her name so you guys go follow her as well. If you're missing the show, grab the podcast. Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7. Raycon, best earbuds around. You'll love your Raycons. Fit amazing, feel incredible. You'll be cooler. You look taller. Ladies will love you. If you're a lady, guys will dig you, right? I mean, that's how cool you are when you wear these things. And the sound quality, second to none. It doesn't sound like anything that you've ever heard for when it comes to earbuds, because They fit in your ear the right way, and you can wear them all day. That's why they call the everyday earbuds. 8 hours of talk time, 32 hours of battery life, fast charging. It's like Shazam charges them within seconds, right? 10 minutes, 90 minutes to charge. So right now, 15% off, 30-day happiness guarantee. They're weather and sweat resistant, and as we run around out here, we got a little swamp ass and it's hot, even if it drips on there, any of that stuff, you have nothing to worry about. These things are tried, true, and tested, and strong. The best earbuds around. They're called Raycons. The everyday earbuds from Raycon. Go to buyraycon.com/Chad to get yours now. 15% off, 30-day happiness guarantee. Buyraycon.com/Chad. Byrna Technology, you're going to want to check them out. They're right here in Franklin. You can go over and see them. And you're thinking, what's this? It's less lethal, but it looks like a Glock, feels like a Glock, handles like it. But I will tell you right now, no waiting period. Buy right there. They're incredible, and they're fun to launch, to shoot. It's awesome. Great way to practice, but a great way also to protect yourself without having to worry about carrying your gun certain places they don't want you to. This is the perfect thing. And for people who are new, maybe a little nervous, because there are people out there, this is a great way to practice, to teach, and to learn on your way to something. Byrna Technology, incredible. Been used by so many police forces across the country. Right now, why don't you check them out? 7 days a week they're open. You can go over there and practice and shoot. It's awesome. You can save 10% by telling them I sent you. Call them. They're open 7 days a week. 615-558-0534. 615-558-0534. Or check out byrna.com for more details.
Prosecutors just made clear what will happen if Kilmar Abrego Garcia is released from federal custody in Nashville, and states can block Medicaid money for health care at Planned Parenthood, according to a ruling by the Supreme Court. We'll tell you about these stories and more at 2:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
So it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening, because he's either way, he's being deported.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, okay, let's say he's acquitted of the human smuggling charges.
He's still leaving.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing here.
No, I don't either. Well, they had to bring him back, and as much as Trump and them didn't want to say it, but they did.
I guess, yeah, I mean, I guess this is the process.
Yeah. They didn't want to bring him back. Remember, it's over our dead body, all that kind of stuff. They finally caved. They brought him back. They said, all right, look, we're complying. We did it. But he's going to be charged with stuff. And maybe, you know what, maybe he's a pawn too. There could be somebody bigger they're going after.
Could be.
There's always a thing. But you're still leaving. That's just it. You're still going.
So you're either going to prison, which I don't think so let's say he is convicted of these charges. Does that mean that he has to be imprisoned here?
Oh, I would assume so, yeah.
I mean, I would think so.
I mean,
so then that's taxpayers' money.
I don't, like you said, what are we doing? Well, this is the process. You brought him home. They ordered you to bring him home. And now that he's here, they're going to either take him into ICE custody and maybe deport him. And once he's gone, he's gone this time, unless he tries to sneak back in, which I think would be really too tough for him to do now because of his fame. And then on the other side of it, if he, like you said, if he stands trial, he may go to prison. So these are the best bad options this guy has. What do you think he's thinking? Would he rather be deported somewhere? Probably Brazil.
Yeah. I mean, definitely somewhere other than El Salvador, given his circumstances. Yeah, because then at least I've got a chance to bring my family.
Yeah.
And I've got a chance at something other than sitting in the Gray Bar Hotel.
He ain't bringing his family. That guy, you drop him off in Brazil, in 5 hours, he's going to be hanging out with hotties. He's never going to talk to those people again. He's like, have you seen my big wife? She's mean. I like her. He's gonna be all, yeah. Don't even tell me. He's a family man. Yeah, he's going to start a new family in Brazil. I'll tell you that. The girl from Ipanema on that. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, I just can't wait to get my family here. Really? No, but you've got kids. Oh, they'll be fine.
Well, and apparently his wife is legal. She's legal.
Yeah,
correct?
She's legal. Was she born here? I don't know.
I can't remember. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard. It's probably been reported, but it just wasn't one of the things that I picked out. So yeah, it looks like his wife and his kids are legal. They probably don't want to go to Brazil.
Well, good. He didn't want them there.
Or Libya. I think Libya is one of the countries that...
is that one of the... Do you think they just tell, all right, here's the deal? Like, do you think they get them all on a plane? It's like, have you ever seen those people where you buy a ticket to go somewhere and everybody gets on a plane and then they take off and then they don't tell you until they're in the air, we're going to wherever. And it'll be the same way. You got like 100 people on the plane. They're like, hey, guys, we're going to South Sudan. Woo!
South Sudan, the beautiful Djibouti.
By the way, we should see.
And I'm going to pay you $300 for the day, and we might go skydiving.
That's right, South Sudan. Let's talk about South Sudan and what's going on over there as we speak.
Yeah, what is happening in South Sudan? Aren't they in a civil war?
They are in a civil war.
They're always in a civil war.
Yeah, that's why there's South Sudan. Currently in South Sudan, it's 81 degrees.
Wow, it's 67 hotter here.
Yeah, well, it is nighttime, too.
Oh, well, yeah, that's right.
92 tomorrow with rain and civil war.
And civil war.
What's to do in South Sudan?
Yeah, what's the dew point?
I don't know. What are you doing? What's the feels like?
What's the do? What's to do?
Yeah.
You pick up a gun and shoot the other guy.
That's right. Hey, how do you guys feel about civil war for a country that we're just sending you to? Currently, they use the South Sudanese pound per capita, $326, $4.7 billion when it comes to the GDP over there. So there's a little bit of a struggle. There's no doubt about that. Man, if they gave that guy $1,000 and he landed there, he'd be rich.
Yeah.
He'd be a warlord. He's not sending for his wife if he's a warlord. You can't do that. Oh, he's going to be out there like ordering people around. His wife's going to show up with the kids. She's like, dude, you ruined my gig. I'm a warlord now. Coming up. Who knows what? We're having fun. We got a lot of stuff still to talk about, of which it's going to be fun. We'll talk a little bit more about maybe Iran, but probably not. Also, what you can't wear at Disneyland, because these fitness instructors were told you can't wear that. Well, she was. We'll talk a bit about that as well. If you're missing the show, grab the podcast. It is the Chad Benson Show.
$2:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got a crash blocking the left lane 40 westbound right there at I-440. And then 65 northbound at Rosa Parks Boulevard. And in Robertson County, still have the right lane blocked 65 southbound there at exit 112 from that crash earlier this morning. Nashville Rescue Mission still taking donations of bottled water. It says they desperately need under this oppressive heat wave.
We're seeing record-breaking numbers, actually. Our daily bed count is as high as I've ever seen it. We're nearing 900 people a night across our two campuses.
That is Nashville Rescue Mission Vice President of Development and Marketing Sam Seipel telling WTN's Chad Benson that you can drop off donations of bottled water at their donation center, 616 7th Avenue South, between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, or they'll take monetary donations at NashvilleRescueMission.org. Right now in Nashville, federal prosecutors just made clear what will happen if Kilmar Abrego Garcia is released from federal custody pending trial on human smuggling charges. They told the judge he will be deported somewhere other than his home country, El Salvador. Earlier today, Garcia's attorneys filed motions requesting he be returned to Maryland and that the judge block any attempt to deport him. Magistrate Barbara Holmes has ordered Garcia's release from federal custody, but acknowledges she has no jurisdiction over ICE. States can block Medicaid money for health care at Planned Parenthood, according to the U.S. Supreme Court in a case brought by a woman challenging South Carolina's laws.
A significant setback for Planned Parenthood, which draws more than a third of its funding nationwide from government contracts, including reimbursements from Medicaid. This was a case that dates back to 2018 when the state of South Carolina excluded Planned Parenthood from their program.
Yeah, the ruling could give a boost to other states that choose to follow suit, that argue that even non-abortion related funding that flows to Planned Parenthood would help it carry out abortions. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
In the 90s, heat index will stay around, if not into the triple digits. And again, any thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon could produce high wind gusts and heavier rainfall as we go through the next couple of days.
The Wellness Institute of Nashville. The best around, period, case closed, end of story. Go to painisbad.com if you don't believe me. Better yet, if you've got a bad back, your back is so sure it hurts. You've tried everything. Guess what? They're doing something for you. Presidential special, $34 for your first consultation, x-rays if needed, and first treatment. And what does that treatment entail? Well, first and foremost, every back's different. But this is about your spine, decompression, right? Non-surgical, making sure it's done right. Well, Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley, they do that right because they got so many years experience and technology, baby. They're the best around. They're so far ahead of the game. You want to get that back, and they've got to build a plan for you to make sure you feel good and it's done the right way. If you've tried other things and you've just been so frustrated, like, Chad, I don't know what to do. Well, neither do I, but that's why the Wellness Institute Nashville exists and does. So call them today. Tell them I sent you, 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, or check them out online at painisbad.com.
Pastor and author J.C. Ryle once said, contrary to popular belief, hell is not a place God sends only the worst of the worst. Hell is our default destination. What that means is we need someone to save us, or we stand before God condemned to hell. But we cannot save ourselves. Only God can do that. Ephesians 2:8-9 says, for by grace you have been saved through faith, that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God, not as a result of works, so that no one may boast. Jesus Christ placed all believers' sins upon himself and died to pay for those sins. Why did he have to die, though? Because Scripture explicitly says the wages of sin is death. Wages means the same as payment, so payment for sin is death. There are no second chances to accept Christ and avoid hell after you die. So if you feel a prompting in your heart, it may be God drawing you. Scan the QR code to learn more.
Weather can change in an instant, and you need to be prepared for any outcome. That's why Generator Supercenter of Nashville will help keep your family safe and connected. We make buying a backup generator simple and easy, with financing options available, free in-home estimate, turnkey installations, no worry warranty, and most importantly, the monitoring and service of your fully installed generator. Come see us at our location in Nashville or visit us online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
Guys, my pillow. Let me tell you something. Mike Lindell's wacky, but that being said, his stuff is awesome. Like, my pillow stuff's amazing. Made right here in the United States of America. It's incredible. And they've got beach towels, baby. Could be used as lake towels. Could be used as, well, pool towels. They're huge. They're big. Cotton. Amazing. Tons of colors and styles to choose from. $24.99. Made right here in the United States of America. And I will tell you this, when I mean super absorbent, it is, don't throw them in the pool, it'll suck all the water out. That's how awesome these things are. And they're big, too. Maybe if you're a little husky, maybe a little bit bigger, right? Big boned, as we like to say, they'll still fit around you, which is good. So that way you don't have to get dressed if you want to go somewhere. You just wrap it up and go inside the house. Check these out right now. Save big, just $24.99 for the MyPillow beach towels right this second. Go now. MyPillow.com/Benson. Use my code Benson. MyPillow.com/Benson. Oh, kids, better check outside.
Now it's time for the Swamp Ass News Report with the weather wizard, Ken Weaver.
Oh, yes, my little chickadee.
All right, break it down for me.
We are at 91 degrees in downtown Nashville. Heat index holding steady at 96.
Ooh. We're at 2 swamp asses, but we're on our way.
We're 6 degrees from our projected high of 97.
I figured we'd have been there by now.
Yeah, maybe enough clouds up there blocking the sun, keeping it down.
Well, we're going to find out if we're going to get there. Remember, the swamp ass meter is based on 5. We're about 2 now, but we're on our way. Apparently, feels like should be like closer to 105, 107, somewhere around there. That's like extra swamp ass.
Yeah, that's...
that's bring 2 pairs of shorts swamp ass kind of thing. That's all I got to say. You know what? If you're cold, I got this for you, Ken, because I saw it and I thought Ken must have to hear this. Everybody get in the time machine with me and go back and have...
Shasta. Awesome.
Oh, Shasta. Oh, my Lord.
Yes, sir.
I don't even know if they make Shasta anymore. Do they?
I think so. Let's see here. Do they make
do they make some
Shasta?
Shasta?
Make Shasta?
I don't know if they do. We got to get them to talk to us if they do.
Shasta soda? Yes.
They do.
Shasta soda is still made and sold.
Oh, my God. We got to get some Shasta. Wonder what it tastes like now. Because when we were younger, it was like you knew it was Shasta.
They've even got zero sugar Shasta.
Oh, do you remember Clear Pepsi? The worst idea in the history of mankind.
Yeah, they used Van Halen. They used Van Halen. What song was that from Van Halen with Sammy Hagar? They used
Van Hagar.
Yeah, it was Van Hagar. That was back in the 90s. That was a good time.
The worst thing ever. They thought somebody
was it right now.
Yes, right now.
Right now. There's no calories and it's zero. And what was the point of it?
Clear Pepsi.
Clear Pepsi. Coke went and did New Coke, worst idea ever. And then Pepsi's like, hold our Coke.
They wanted to create a 7-Up like product without changing the name or coming up with a new name.
Just go buy Dr. Skippers or was it Dr. Lemon 7 or whatever Shasta was?
Yeah, Dr. Schnee.
It sounds like, who's your proctologist? Dr. Schnee.
Dr. Schnee.
Oh, Shasta Cola. What are the names of the Shasta Colas? Do they even have anywhere? Let's take a look.
They've got chocolate cola.
They've got apple.
Apple, Tiki Punch.
Yeah. California Dreamin'.
California
Club Soda.
Dreamin'.
Just cola.
There's Diet Shasta Cola.
Fiesta Punch. What, Dr. Shasta? Not a licensed medical professional. Here we go. Mountain Rush.
Mountain Rush. Probably tastes like Mountain Dew.
Root beer.
Root beer.
Oh, there's Shasta Twist. That's what it was called.
Oh, some of that dangle root
A little Shasta Twist right there. They got a lot of stuff. They got a lot of diets. I'm seeing that. I mean, I had no idea. We need some gear. Shasta, if you're listening, I don't know where you guys are being produced, but we need some gear.
I like how they have Shasta Black Cherry in a blue can.
Of course they do. Oh, they do have gear. We're getting these guys. Do we want a Shasta 1970s strawberry T-shirt?
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to get some of these for sure. Oh, goodness me. They've got Dr. Shasta T-shirts.
Dr. Shasta.
We're going to be rocking this. You guys are all going to be jelly of us. That's all I know. You're going to be super, super jelly.
Man, look at these Shasta cans from the 60s. I mean, now these are like tin cans. They're not aluminum.
Yeah, you're not crushing them.
These cans will hurt you if you try to crush them.
You're not crushing them. Shasta turned my poop green. That's a... I don't know if it was Shasta. I think there's better. There may be something else going on, Liver King.
Oh.
Did you see that they're in Texas? They've Abbott signed a bill, and see why we pay attention to this. So we were the test case, obviously, for the trans case that went on. The South Carolina and stuff with the case that's going on with the SCOTUS has ruled about Planned Parenthood. And so each state, they have their, if they can do it, we can do it.
Right.
Texas now is starting in, not this year, but next 27, there has to be warning labels on all of the junk food and stuff, all the food.
Ah.
So if it's not, if they have ingredients inside of the food or whatever you drink or whatever it is, and they don't use it in Europe, they don't have that in Europe, there has to be a warning label that says other countries find some of the chemicals in here harmful, that's a weird thing. Like, why didn't you just say, look, don't eat this, it's crappy.
Yeah, you can't have this.
And then everybody will buy it. Because the minute you tell somebody you can't do something.
That's right.
If you're up in the air and you tell somebody, don't look down, what's the first thing they do?
They're going to look down.
They're going to look down. They're going to look down. You can't. You tell somebody, don't go in to the cookie jar. They're going to, what the hell's in a cookie jar? Because that's what they want to do. That's nature. You've told me not to do something, so I'm curious as to why I shouldn't do something. I see Lindsey Graham. She's on TV right now. Oh, sorry. God, I do that every time. I hear the name Lindsay and I think a girl. And she wants war.
Well, he's animated.
Well, of course, because he wants war.
About? He's like, it's been months since we went to war with anybody. We got to bomb someone.
Yeah. So, RC Cola makes knee-high peach.
Ooh.
What's knee-high peach?
But he's claiming it tastes like peach cobbler in a bottle, and I'm a little suspicious of that.
I don't know if I want that.
But is it... Oh, okay, maybe RC owns Knee High, because I thought Knee High was its own brand, but maybe it falls under the RC Cola.
Maybe it does.
Umbrella. I like RC Cola.
I could do some RC Cola.
Oh man, I had a lot of little league baseball coaches that let us drink RC Cola.
Oh, guys, we just got an update here. It's going up now. 95 feels like 108, according to AccuWeather, Nashville, Tennessee.
What? They don't know any more than the U.S. Weather Service?
Well, no, they probably do because they fired everybody over there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Knee-High was its own company. It was introduced by Chero Cola, which later became Knee-High Corporation and then the Royal Crown Company.
Ah,
In 2008, it was acquired by Dr. Pepper Snapple Group.
Oh, Snapple.
Snapple.
Is that the ones that used to give you the little... Like you'd open it up and you look underneath and it would say like, what's the tallest mountain in the world?
Yeah, it would give you a little trivia under the cap.
Yeah.
You were drinking something that you shouldn't have been. And at the same time, though, you're being educated.
Yeah.
Remember Snapple? Remember Bartles and James?
I do.
Those guys, like two old dudes who got There's Bartles and James.
They didn't give you no trivia.
No, they didn't. They just gave you a kind of feminine drink. No man,
wine
go get
coolers.
No man, go get me a wine cooler now.
Bartles James was the Zima of the West Coast.
I had a buddy, man. I mean, the year we graduated from high school, man, we just spent a summer of debauchery pretty much. And we'd get one of his older brothers to buy me a 12-pack of beer, and he'd get him a 12-pack of Bartles and James.
With his Capri cigarettes.
And he was a big Moody Blues fan.
Oh, Capri cigarettes. They're like diet cigarettes. Are you trying to lose weight? Or just like somebody who could? We were talking earlier, guys, for where we may send the likes of Kilmar, Abrego, Garcia. If he was to go to South Sudan, I have found their tourist things to do.
All right, let's hear that.
All right. First of all, they just want to let everybody know it faces challenges, and there is lots of violence and civil war going on. But
sign me up.
Just in case you want to go, they have the Juba National Museum. Okay. They have the National Parks and Game Reserves, which are probably awesome, in between the, war. The Imatong Mountains offer hiking, trekking, and kidnapping. The Keju KG, which is known for its picturesque landscape along the Nile, ideal for hiking, bird watching, river excursions. The Boer Community Cultural Village, which is a living museum showcasing the traditional lifestyles of the Boer community, BOR. The local markets, which are fun. And the White Nile, it's always about race, offers opportunities for river cruises, fishing, and exploring riverside communities. But there are currently ongoing armed conflicts and a high rate of crime.
Boy, they got some big old longhorn cattle.
They do.
Look at those horns on those things.
Look. If you're going to go to those things are huge, huge. Look at those things.
7 things to do in South Sudan. Penguin travel.
What?
That must be a company.
Oh, I was going to say.
Yeah. I was getting ready to say. They don't have penguins there, do they?
No. Unless they were deported there.
You could build dirt castles.
You could. Or body castles with all the Civil War. God, look at it's. You know what? You look at these things though. Take away with stuff that's going on.
It's beautiful there.
It's gorgeous. It's just stunning. And yet, what do you have? You have people that are out there killing each other. South Sudan. They're fighting over God knows what. Sudan and them. It's genocide. It's awful. But God, I'm looking at the sunset. Look at the water and the mountains. It's stunning. I mean, Kilmar could go to a worse place.
Like El Salvador.
Which is beautiful, but he's got to go to jail.
He's got to go to jail in El Salvador.
Being convicted of nothing, but he's still got to go to jail.
Yeah.
Chad, he's been convicted of nothing there. They got some Watsui cows. Is that what those things are?
Must be.
Watsui cows. Those things are gorgeous. God, look how beautiful it is there. It is just insane. And then, of course, you've got the Civil War. And I couldn't even tell you what this one's about at this moment in time.
This particular Civil War?
Yeah, this is is crazy. I mean, at this point in time, it's one of those things where any given moment, like Africa, most of Africa if on a globe should be written in pencil. Because tomorrow it's going to be the Republic of something else.
Yeah, I saw a blurb today where apparently dozens were killed in some civil fighting in Kenya.
It's sad. It is sad because it is the cradle of life. It is gorgeous. They have more resources than what to shake a stick at.
Yep.
And this is part of, when you want to talk about colonization, go look at some of the stuff that the Europeans in particular did there. King Leopold, by the way, of Belgium, you want to talk about some of the worst people on earth? You put him right next to Hitler. He killed about 30 million.
Wow.
For diamonds and whatnot. Yeah, that's a lot of folk. So it's sad. So those are some of the places that our friend could be heading. We've given him an opportunity. If he's listening, hey, Kilmar, we're number 1 among the Kilmars in Nashville. Coming up, wrap it up. I think Chris is here. We'll talk to him about what he's talking about today. I wonder what he's talking about today. I know he's probably talking about Boston and how their sports fans are worse than Chicago sports fans.
He knows about Boston.
Yes, he does. It's Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Coming up next, the man, the myth, the legend.
What's up? What's up? What's up? How we doing, man?
Chris Head in for Matt, Medicated Murphy.
We got a lot more medicated moments with Matt on the way.
That's good. Is he becoming less medicated, or he's just now enjoying it?
It sounds like he's more medicated, but in more pain at the exact same time.
Well, I'm sure, the first day you're kind of delusional. You got so much stuff that, your body's in shit, all the things going on. But then once it all starts to wear off.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, it's not good. So what are you up to today? What are you talking about?
We're gonna run through the gambit. We're gonna talk about this big beautiful bill. We're gonna talk about.
It's gross. The big beautiful bill is gross.
I get where you're at on the overspending, but at this point, I'm like, how can we
surveillance state?
But how can we not trust Trump given what we've seen? I feel like we need to get this.
I don't trust the surveillance state and all the stuff that's in there.
Is the Palantir stuff?
Yeah, that stuff that's scary, and a lot of it. And we're talking about the power that these guys are going to have. When you think about what NSA have, now we're going to just totally just hand it all over to them, which is I'm not thrilled by. But, we'll see if it gets over the line.
But the power that they're going to have is already there. It's just who's going to wield it.
But now they're going to outsource it to a private company, essentially, which will also work with the government to maybe do who knows what. I mean, could you imagine a social credit score or some weird thing like we say never, but...
Yeah, I don't see it happening here under this administration.
No.
But I get where the fears are.
And I'm also concerned because a lot of the guys working for Trump have huge stakes in Palantir. Stephen Miller has a ton of money into it.
J.D. Vance.
Those are some serious. I have serious questions about that. So
what would make you relaxed when it comes to Palantir?
Them not being there and them not doing this, but they're also very war hawky too. By the way,
they're not doing anything though.
No, and the AI stuff in there. By the way, they don't want any regulation on AI for 10 years in the States.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No, that's not good. So, there's a lot of things in this, that's not the pork side of it, but it's very concerning. The pork side of it is great. I would rather them have raised some taxes on the richest, give a bigger break to the middle class than, because the rich are going to figure out how to get away with what they're going to do. They know that. They got people to do that all day.
Yeah, they'll find workarounds. The workarounds are still going to be there.
Yeah.
My big thing is getting the funding we needed to get deportations done. I think that we can.
Yeah, that's good.
But we can quibble.
You could have done that on its own, though.
But we can quibble over the social credit score down the road. We do need the funding to get these deportations done. Otherwise, the country's not going to be recognizable anyway.
No, we could have done some of this stuff. Should have just been done all on its own, and.
Single spending bills.
Yeah, even if you're going to put 2 or 3, it's the ginormousness of it. The stuff that you could have put in, especially to me, anything with immigration on its own, because you could spotlight that across the board and also point to the Democrats why they're not voting for it, all this kind of stuff. That would have been a smart thing to do because you could have I think you even got more money for some of this stuff. But well, we'll see. We'll see what it looks like when it's done, too, because we have no idea when it all is said and done after the Senate puts their little spin on it.
I know, and then we got to deal with the parliamentarian today. Who elected you?
Some of the stuff it's old school, very British.
Yeah.
It's like, somebody put on a wig and come over here. We're going into this room. We have to talk.
Yep.
What else you got on tap?
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about CNN getting busted and then doubling down on their fake news.
Fake news.
We'll have some immigration updates. We got some auto pen updates. Plus, Maha making big moves, make America healthy again. Do you see the news from Nestle? Nestle is going to remove all their artificial dyes from each of their products by next year.
As long as the crunch tastes the same.
And then they're voting to remove the Thermosol from vaccines. So we'll talk about all that and more.
Oh, Chris, straight ahead. You guys have a good one. We'll do it again tomorrow.